Alrighty, hello everybody. Give me 1 second here to get everything working with the video here. But here we are for another oh, let me just pause this. Apparently it's playing an ad. There we go. We have another thing here. Here we are. There's Flats. We are here. The sound worked today. Chat. The sound worked today. Music this time? The music was on. We had the music rolling.
Let's go.
Oh, we popped off. Give me 1 second here. I need to put this on this, and then I'll switch over there. There we go. Got another. I can hear myself. There we go. Okay. Yep.
Nice.
And now we are good to go. In 1 second, let me just get the cast open. Oh, never mind. That's not the cast. Yep. This is going well. Yep. Listen. There we go. And here's the cast. And here's the volume. And here is the main scene.
All right, to catch you up, the predictions were from the desk, all shock. All
really? Which is surprising. It's going to be a good matchup. No, I only say that because obviously Gladiators had beat Shock, but then Paris beat Gladiators.
Yep.
So you know what? Listen, here's where we're at. 3-1 Shock.
3-1 Shock?
Every time we guess 3-0 Shock, it ends up being...
Absolutely.
It's just
well, I think we're being like dumb by saying 3-0 because control.
Okay.
Like, just control. That's it.
True.
So 3-1, I think, is actually a very good guess.
I will say this though. I believe that if Shock wins control though, the first map, it could be a 3-0 if they win control. Because think about that. The whole time it's always Shock on control, Shock on control. Shock isn't winning like capture point now.
I think when Shock wins control, they've 3-0'd every single time.
Or close to it, right?
No, I think actually have 3-0'd every single time.
I have no idea. But then maybe they do. You want to go? You gonna look it up?
You want me to look it up?
That's what I'm saying. I have no idea.
I'm not looking it up. Chat can look it up. Chat will figure it out.
Yeah, we're good to go.
Chat, you have homework now.
Honestly, the Paracetano starters, it's what you expect. It's the Shock
all right.
actually for me that have a very
I think Shock can do this.
Going on here. And that's
100%. But that control map, I'm actually really curious. This is a different lineup. This is actually a different lineup for control.
We actually have Twilight in. Have we ever seen this lineup? We have Glister, Nero, Super, Choi, Twilight, and FD God.
We've never seen this
lineup before, have we?
Nope, we never have.
This is interesting. So they're making a pretty major change to the first control map here.
Yep.
Maybe they're finding more success with this team comp specifically.
Well, you bring in Twilight, you're probably running the Ana.
Are you?
What are you? Well, yeah. I mean, you'd leave Violet in for the BAP. That's like his hero right now. So you're probably running Ana Lucio or Ana Brig, mostly Ana Lucio. But the curveball is Super being in then, because if Super's in I have 3 pixels in my whole screen.
Really? Oh yeah, I have that too. Yeah. What the heck?
Yeah,
this is great. I hope everybody's enjoying.
I can't see anything.
Ready to get these guys into the game.
Let's go.
That's the head scratcher, because you run Ana, you typically run Winston right now with how the game's balanced. If Super's in, that means they're running Rhine, Ball, or Orisa. So Ball would be my guess. Maybe.
Everybody is buying into this team currently.
I'm not sure. Honestly,
Potentially going on a tear. It's a big question mark.
Well, I'm just glad the pixels are back.
Are we going to be seeing? Are we going to see the Paracetano that turned up at the second half of their match against the Gladiators or the first half? Because they were almost two different.
Remember what this one's called? This one's called Shrine. Remember? We figured that out last time.
yes, this is Shrine.
Because we used to call this Elephant.
Shrine.
Yes, this is Shrine. We learned that.
Against the Gladiators, but
see, we even learn things here.
Yep, we learn a lot of things.
Paris beat Gladiators, Gladiators beat Shock.
Yep, we're learning.
Beat Shock. It doesn't work in reality a lot.
All right, I'm ready.
Aha!
You have to consider,
let's go.
It is the ball.
Okay, so they're running the Ball Diva And a Mercy comp?
This is very, and don't forget, chat. The hit scan nerf that just came out on live is not in this.
Yes, they will not
so
have
hit
it.
Scan is still powerful, or as powerful as it was before in this. So they're gonna run the Pharah Sombra ball comp. Woof. Okay, you know what? Show me something new.
Yeah, something completely different. It looks like they're gonna be running against Rush.
Yep.
So a completely different comp we've seen from them.
Yep. I think this is a chance for Shock to really experiment.
Yep.
Because they have not played well so far on control. So try something new. Why not?
And the expectation, I mean, they've been losing every control. So
Forget to pick.
That's a
Super
huge start.
spinning. He's spinning.
Spinning Spencer.
Yeah, we got multiple picks. Oh my.
And wow.
They might be onto something here.
Yep, definitely based off of the first team fight we've seen. That's it. They win every map now.
Yep. Yeah, might be onto something here. Because I've been saying for a while, okay, you know this. I've been saying even for the last 3 patches that I thought Rush was kind of weak now. And honestly, these like double shield, poke comps, far range comps are way better right now because of how the balances come out. And I think that, you know, this is a good example of Shock One being one of the best Rush teams in the league that just said, you know what? It's not in the cards right now. Let's try something else.
Yeah, it seems like for them, they were just, the Rush comps were okay. And they were doing okay in the Rush comps. And I think once they realized that they were doing just okay on the Rush comps, that they needed to change up the comps a little bit. Rush comp isn't bad, it's just, it wasn't like the Rush versus Rush meta we saw. It's changed a lot. Ryan doesn't have that survivability as much, Ryan has to play safer. So for them, they're like, well, why don't we just play a comp where it's a little bit more about kind of playing around the edge of the map and not taking these Rush versus Rush battles and see how we do.
Yep.
And so far,
Nero's getting so much value on this Pharah too.
This is one of the better starts we've seen on Koth, and I mean that too. Usually they'll lose like the first round of Koth. Obviously, you know, it's all going to be about how much they can hold the point for and the retakes and things like that. It does look like Paris is going to win this fight, but
that was actually a good shot right there.
Yeah, so far isn't too bad. A little bit of a, well, I mean, I wonder if he'll use that ultimate to survive on point as long as he can, because it looks like Choi might be able to touch, but the timing is off just by a little bit, and Choi might get DMAC'd here.
That's okay though. You take that.
Yep.
You take that though.
Yep.
Because look what they got coming back. They got bomb and EMP.
Okay.
I mean, Paris has more ults, but that's, you know.
But I wonder. But Shock might be happy. They managed to have Paris be able to switch to a different comp, and now Nero's onto Echo.
Interested to see what they managed to get done with this. An EMP into a
You're right.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Okay, you know, I like the Echo pick too. I think the Pharah pick is specifically against Rush though.
Wow.
Oh, the EMP bomb from Choi.
Choi does go down though right after, so there actually might be an opportunity for Paris to get a res there, which then should give them the team fight. But they actually do use Echo Ult here, and actually I don't even think Paris needed to use Echo Ult.
Paris used all their ults. The only thing they didn't use was Diva Bomb, and I don't know if Diva Bomb was ready during the pre-fight. It might have been ready, but
if we look at Shock's ultimate so far, they don't have anything right here. So for them, this fight's important to just get on the same target, build up some of their ultimates, and then win the next fight. But obviously, Paris is feeling pretty comfortable right now that they were able to retake with a different comp based off what they started with.
Yep.
Looks like Super's just going to kind of go for the back line here, trying to take some pressure off the front line.
Yep.
But yeah, Paris is able to get some early picks again.
Early picks, yeah. That could be really dangerous.
Yep.
Because now we're coming up on one fight territory.
The problem with super early picks is that you don't even have time to build up ultimates at that point.
Yep.
You pretty much just feed them ultimates. And obviously Super builds up Ball Ult here, and Twilight's going to have Nano. So there's definitely a good opportunity for a retake here, but Paris was able to stack up 4 ultimates after using all their ultimates the fight before.
They're either a Nano Super or Nero here. Those are the 2 options. Super for the one-shot on the slam, or for Nero to build his ult.
It looks like Twilight does have some pressure in the back.
Twilight's getting pressured.
Yeah.
This is close. Movement, though.
And FD God might survive here. Might be able to get Valkyntime? I'm not quite sure right now.
Troy gets a touch one more time. Troy gets another touch.
Yep. That's unlucky on point.
Oh.
Unideal.
Wow.
And that's going to be the
Just as we were talking about the really good start they had, they just weren't able to take that. It was
Yep.
such a good start, too.
Yep. You know what, though? That looked better than we've seen a lot recently, you know? And I'm glad they're trying something else, because it was very... They would slowly grind it out before, and now this map is much more suited to Rush and Shock's style. So this is probably a good place for them to take that fight and try to outmuscle the other team in Paris here. But, you know, we'll have to see, of course. I did like, though, even though they lost that round, they tried something different. I like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's what has to happen. And it wasn't bad. It's just they got picked off early multiple fights in a row. That doesn't happen all the time in those team fights. Paris just played well.
So Shock's gonna take top, and they're gonna go. Paris is gonna go point. Okay.
Once again, this is a strategy we see from Shock every time on Koth, for the most part. They either go the opposite way where the other team goes. They never take that mirror matchup on the fight. They'll just be like, you know what, we'll give them a point, but then they lose Nero right away. There's a chance.
Honestly, how did Nero get one tapped?
I think it was unlucky.
No, it was unlucky, but like, he had to get hit by everything. Like a right click from Sim, right click from May, a left click from Bap. That was a lot of damage. That was instant.
And they're going to have
instant death.
Really good stall on Choi right here.
Yep.
Choi might get Sue back, though. And they do get the kill on Choi. Yeah, just a tough start there. That was just about as unlucky as it gets. I just think they just got a random pick there. It was just one of those timings. Like, you know the time where, like, Ryan will be, like, swinging for, like, a half of a second and somebody falls over type of timing. It's literally just nothing you can do about that. But Super does have a really fast shatter. There will be a little bit of a shatter advantage right now going into Shock's favor. So if they're able to actually win this fight, actually Lucio might...
TP top.
Oh, wow. They
might
almost got the
Lucio?
pick.
Almost.
Just getting out of there now, and still Paris
so far, just kind of...
Just poking it out.
Yep.
Working down each other's shields, looking for an advantage here.
Yeah, nothing like too exciting happening right now.
Bit of a miss there from the Paris Eternal.
The rank gets really, really low there from Super's Fire Strike. Super's got one more Fire Strike to send in.
So that's again damage going to be gone. The Paris Eternal committing the ultimate super.
Boop there stops the counter pin.
Slam by
good
Super,
slam.
but Mail might be able to
Mail's gonna counteract it.
But Bap does go down. It actually looks like they might be able to take this fight in a big slam.
What? Okay, yeah, you just... Okay, you know what?
We take those.
In this match so far.
Yeah, you 100% take those, but I've done that before. I'm gonna be honest.
100%, at least 20 times a day. All right, we have...
Okay, that's just a little rude. 20 times is a little much. You know what? You know what it looks like here? It looks like they've set up for TP, so they can actually just TP on them. They go low ground.
Yeah.
And May ult on them, but they're actually gonna go high ground. And I think this is where Shock wants to fight.
Yep.
I think going high ground as Paris is a mistake.
And Shock loves that type of fight right there. They used one ultimate. That was it. And it was Diva Bomb. One of those ultimates that you don't get the most value out of Diva Bomb in this team comp when it's not Echo versus Echo, right? And they were able to win that fight. Nero holds on to Mail. And you know what? I wouldn't doubt it that they just use Window here rather than Mail first. They may just window this fight. And then that gives them more and more time to have this really good Mail. As we've seen with them... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, Paris is honestly going high ground again.
Yep.
This is... You do not want to do this, because Shock is one of the best, most like well-coached, rehearsed teams in the league. Going high ground is where they want you to go. Their plan is to absolutely dominate if you go high ground. Low ground, it's a little bit more out there, but... Like, every time they go high ground here, they're running right into Shock's plan.
And one thing I'm happy to see there, by the way, is we talked about this where Shock wasn't using Window first in like any team fights. We're starting to see them be a little bit more proactive in these team fights. Before, they were taking their time and always playing kind of like they were reacting to what they were doing, but now we're seeing them be a little bit more proactive, and I like to see that. I want to see them...
Well, it's Twilight on so it's not actually violent.
In general, though, like the Diva Bomb play they did, too, like they Diva Bombed right away. They didn't give them time. And they went. They do let Paris get the point here, and I think
that's okay though, because they used Window for it.
Yep, but
and they're gonna use Mail too. I think they just reset this.
Yeah, and this was once again one of those situations where as I just mentioned, they were taking the fights first. Paris made that first play. Paris did the first ultimate, and look what happens on the team fight. It's just a lot of the times when you ult first or make the first play, it doesn't even have to be an ultimate. The other team has to react, and the plan they have has to change right away in that moment, right?
Yep.
The plan changes, and when you give them the opportunity to execute that plan, that's what we see. So now I'm kind of curious to see how Paris is taking this fight first.
Yep.
But Shock actually managed to get through to the
They made
point.
the TP play. Oh, and they get the...
Yep.
Oh, that's huge.
You know, it's funny. I actually remember they
And
tried
it's
this.
completely cut off from his
And
team.
I think they're gonna win this. And I think they tried this play
Super's got
last
Shatter
week.
too to clean it up. They take this.
Well, the San Francisco Shock have mopped it up. Nero finally
You know what's funny about that right there?
100%. What's that?
Last week, remember when they were playing on this map specifically? They did that TP and the other team pushed into them, and they lost the fight because of that. Paris tried the same thing, but this time Shock did the TP a little bit further back, and then Paris lost control of the point.
Yep.
And there've been a range of
That's
different.
the difference we saw.
And it kept them from not being able to rotate back in time.
Yep.
Made them panic.
It was a really good recovery there by Shock.
Both of these.
That also just shows that, you know, Shock takes it seriously when they're not performing well on a map or on a game or whatever it is. They go into the film room and they watch that back 100 times and be like, hey, this is how they beat us here. This is how, if they try to do it in the future or someone else tries to do it in the future, this is how we counteract it. And that was a perfect way of seeing it. It's just a small play of putting the TP back a few extra feet to give a little bit of breathing room to TP past was all the difference.
Well, a lot of the time, you know, with Shock, if they don't look at the last match, start to worry about the last match. They look at what they can do to improve on the next match.
Yep.
Obviously by watching that film, but they always want to improve onto the next match every time. Once again, we see Shock always, they never go for the direct mirror on the fight. Does that make sense? They never go for that direct.
They TP'd first.
Yeah,
making
exactly.
them plays first.
And
like
they did this strat last time too, and they did take the point last time off of it, and then they lost the point immediately last time. But this time, you're seeing them get really
though,
picked.
it looks a little different.
Exactly.
Super needs a little bit of help though, but you know what? No, he doesn't. Yeah, he just killed everybody. Okay, we're
But
good.
see, that's a confidence builder right there for the team. Because last time when they did that, the strat worked, they got the point, and they lost the point. This time, they keep the point, they build up Simwall. Look at Simwall right now. Already have Simwall in comparison to Paris, who's at 40%. They're going to be able to use whatever ult they want here aggressively. My hope is they use their window first.
Yep.
I would love for them to see them use their window first. That would be a play I would love to see. Or they use their sim wall off this. Okay, so there you go. They use their sim wall, but they're able to retake the point too. They don't give them the opportunity to get the tick, and they get a pick right away on Diva. What a boot.
That's huge. And FD with the big boop as well.
So if they don't use their window first there, they use their sim wall to counter the window rather than try to counter with window. And that's exactly what they do. Now they know that coming up this next fight, Paris is going to have those ultimates, so I wouldn't doubt it if we see Shock go for an aggressive play here, or they might give them the point for free and then try to retake after. I think that's going to be the play they go for.
I think you're going to be right on the first part. I think instead they're going to play aggressive because look at the ults they have. They have Mail, Shatter, Beat, and the Beat will bail them out. Look at that. Oh my god, they're 30% ahead on Beat.
Yeah. I wouldn't doubt if they play aggressive here. Exactly. And as you can see, they are playing aggressive. And they eat the Mail because they play aggressive. And now they get the kills. Exactly.
That's a massive eat from Choi, too.
Yep. That's what I'm talking about, though. This is what we weren't seeing from Shock on their control maps. They were playing, every time they would just wait and wait and wait. And this time they're like, no, we're playing aggressive. We're going to make the play. Now, obviously, Paris does have ultimates here. So if there's one fight Paris is going to win, it's going to be this ultimate.
They may not win this fight, though.
This fight, that is. They may not, because, no, Shock is going to play aggressive. They can disengage out if they need to.
Super Shatter Lambo comes out, too.
Yep. And if they lose the fight, they lose the fight. But they want to play aggressive and make the other team have to use more ultimates to win the fight, not just win off of one set of ults.
And big bomb gets some space, too.
They're still on the point.
They've got Dan separated as well.
Yeah.
If they can end up turning around and getting on him really quick, and here comes the lamp. Okay, they're going to group up on it. That's fine.
This was the fight that Paris was going to win.
Yep.
This was the fight that was going to happen.
They almost didn't win that, though, even with all their ults and having the advantage for that.
But now it's about the retake. So what are they going to do here? Are they going to use Simwall and TP, or are they just going to play aggressive? My guess is they're going to Simwall TP. And they're going to hope that they're going to be able to get May ult out, and maybe Choi can have another huge E here.
It does seem like
huge
his
E.
mate gets caught out a little.
Definitely.
There's the TP. They go to point, and we should see a wall soon.
Gonna try and get in. Glisto.
There's
Shatter
the wall.
too.
They're gonna pop his
Yep.
ultimate to try and keep him safe. Naga's invested the blizzard as well. But
And there's the Mayo. Now,
You want
listen.
mail for Walt? Wait, they're flipping this fight? No,
I don't
no,
know if they're
not
going to be able to flip it, but they're going to be able to build their ultimates, and that for them is key here. That is super key. They needed to build ult there, so using the sim wall there, they're okay with. Otherwise, what's going to happen is Paris will end up having their sim wall. When they have their sim wall, it's just going to be you're not going to get any value. But they built Shatter.
Right.
They're going to have both support ults coming up. They're happy with that. They're happy with that.
And they get space too because they got some kills out of that, so they can't hold the door anymore.
And Matrix Online as well.
So we're just gonna need to recharge your shield a little bit here, probably for a second. They're probably just gonna chill.
I see them making the first play here. Nope. Looks like they win a second, but a huge boot!
What a boot! That was a little bit of
Wait. The boot from
And then a
from
big
FD
slam right
and
after.
hammer
Super gets
swing.
3.
It's so free.
That's a massive slam.
It's going to be a free fight for
Just be
them.
careful
I
of
mean,
getting booped here, because remember last time?
assist there, like you're saying, Josh. The boot,
Okay.
Along with a hammer swing.
Nah,
just
they've got
puts
this.
them down, just
They've got this. That was
straight off
huge.
the edge.
That was honestly, that was Dan jumped as he got booped
Yep.
with the second swing, the hammer swing, as he came down, and that booped him just far enough to boop him off the edge. That
And as
was
you can
like
see-
millimeters, honestly.
You can see how happy Super was. They finally won a control.
Yep.
They won a control. Chat, Shock has won a control.
Now, yeah, they're gonna have to change the meme first off. I hope there's a second version of that somewhere. I'm not sure if there is, but if there is, now's the time. But real talk though, Paris is not a pushover right now. But Paris has improved a lot recently.
Oh yeah.
And Shock just came out on something completely new, different lineup, and did very well.
When the series might just get turned.
I have hope. What do you think?
It's been a good one so far.
I
as well.
truly believe.
I think the signs of life we see
I
from
truly
them,
believe that them winning that map is huge because they don't win on control. And think about this. It wasn't like they won the first map and then they lost or they got 99 to 0'd on, they literally lost the first map and then popped off the next two. And for them to win that way in comparison to where they were just losing on that, like they were always losing, that's a huge confidence boost. And you can see it with Super. Super was like, oh, we won. We finally won under control. Now, they take that momentum going to the second map, right? They need to play with that same confidence that we just saw. In most fights, Shock lost were the fights where they weren't playing with that aggression. Most fights they won, they were aggressive. Now, obviously, you can't be unaggressive on every single team fight, Like, you can't always do that. But when Shock plays with that style of play where they're constantly being aggressive, it forces teams to make mistakes. Remember when Choi ate that Mayo? That was them having a plan because the May went to the side. They go, you know what? We're going to have May ult. We're going to come out here. May is going to ult, all that. But Shock played aggressive and forced a mistake.
Yep.
We talked about it last time, too. So, they just got to keep it up. They got to keep playing with it, play smart, and let's see how they do in the second map. So,
I honestly, win or lose if that map, the fact that they came out on something different, tried something else, and were looking that good all the way through, even if that ended up not being the result that they wanted, that was so a massive improvement. And then they ended up winning it. Like the improvement in between last week and this week, just on control already has been insane.
Yep.
Because Paris beat London last week pretty handedly. Like London looked a lot better against Paris. Like you could tell they improved, but Paris had beat them pretty well. Like it wasn't that close. And for Shock to come out and just have that kind of an impact, you know what? Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time we would go, hey, like they're getting it together on the one weakness that they look like they had.
Now keep in mind, if I'm correct, and correct me if I'm wrong here, I'm pretty sure Paris reverse swept in that game against Gladiators, correct?
Against Gladiators?
I think it was 2-0 Gladiators, and then Shock managed. And then Paris came back and won 3-2.
You might be right on that, actually.
But,
you might be right on that.
But my point is in the sense that I think that's what happened. I could be wrong. I remember seeing like reverse sweep.
They did.
The thing is though, is that also means Shock needs to make sure that it's one map at a time. Not that we just want control. It's that Paris clearly can win off of just being down 2-0. They did it to Gladiators, so they're not going, oh wow, this is over. We lost control to Shock. Shock never wins control. Paris is going to refocus. So for Shock, it's very important that they just take one map at a time and play with that confidence. And that's what we want to
Yep.
see. So,
Definitely.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Do you think we'll see some double shield here?
I mean, hopefully.
Hopefully?
What? You don't want to see double shield?
No. I don't want to see double shield.
Oh, I mean, we played so much of it today. I thought you were going to be ready to...
Dude, that 0-4 double shield start, I literally almost cried.
What do you mean? It wasn't 0-4 double shield start. You went Roadhog on Volskaya.
Dude, on Volskaya, I can't believe we lost that game. I actually played like a maniac.
Yeah.
I had 72% hook accuracy.
Yep.
I did. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, well, Yep.
And that was
I got
with throwing
rolled.
hooks at the Farah.
I got rolled. So,
You got rolled?
Yep.
Oh,
The whole time.
okay.
All right.
I'll be real. I did not get rolled, so you know what? That's my first W.
Here we go. Hey, you know what? Let's see what map we have, because I have no idea what map we have. Wait, what map do we have? Do we know? Did you pay attention to the maps? What was it? Have we ever paid attention to the maps?
Nope.
They'll have like a
You know what we
big
have paid
giant
attention
screen in
to,
front of
though?
us with the maps too. What's up?
Remember on Gibraltar?
Yeah.
The boat that travels across the map in the background?
Yeah.
The official
There it is.
refreshment of
We just saw
the
Ilios. Do you think Ilios does that too?
I don't know. Maybe we'll have to do that one day.
We might have to check that.
Yep. In between one of those long queues.
One of those long queues where we go find out where the boat goes.
Yep. All right. We have Glister. We have Ons,
From the break,
Smurf,
everybody
Twilight,
Ooh.
Violet, and Joy.
action momentarily. We have
What a lineup.
Little swaps and changes to
Yep.
talk about as well.
Ons is in.
Mm-hmm.
Chat, can we get a smile? Ons is in.
That means we're
You're
getting.
happy Ons is in? Give me a smile.
Does that mean we're getting Junkertown, or are we getting Dorado?
I don't remember.
It's probably Junkertown, Hollywood, or Dorado.
Also,
what
chat,
is
if
it?
you-
Oh, man.
Wait, actually, that's a good question. Which one is it?
It would have to be Junkertown or Dorado, right?
Yes, it has to be.
Yes, yes, it can't be Hollywood.
Gladiators, but then wasn't really fielded against the London Spitfire. Got Smurf coming in for Super, which indicates that they're going to be playing more Winston compositions. So Winston probably.
Wait, no, but would they play Winston comp on Junkertown?
I mean, they played Rush on Junkertown, so I don't.
Most of the time. So you've got that.
Okay, you get a point there.
Wait, maybe it's Gibraltar.
And it's been a topic of conversation for the.
I'm just gonna
Is
name
it
off maps
Gibraltar?
until we have a map.
The chops and changes this much.
Just start naming them off.
What else do we have left that it could be?
Rialto?
Oh, maybe it's Rialto.
Could be Rialto.
Especially last year in 2020.
I don't think it's Rialto.
It could be Gibraltar.
Could be Gibraltar.
Gibraltar could be a
Because
map they play here.
It's possible.
That they have a decent understanding of how to do that. It's just about getting the right people in. It's not necessarily just.
I don't think it's Havana.
Could be Havana.
I don't think it's Havana, though.
That is the first time since week 8 that Shock have won the first.
Do we have any
map
maps
of
left?
the series. And their opponent in week 8 was
It's Gibraltar.
Yeah.
So that was the last.
Yep.
Gibraltar, Hanamura, Hollywood, Busan.
All the rest of
Somehow
the
we'll
time
still
they
forget
played
what the maps are. We
I'm
just saw it.
100% forgetting this on
Like,
the next
I
queue.
see Hanamura, I see Hollywood, I see Busan. Hopefully they don't have to go to Hollywood. Maybe they can just win these two maps.
The entire season, the championship as well, they were almost unbeatable on control and hybrid. This year, it is not the same. But this is a step in the right direction going forward.
Yeah, we're heading over to Gibraltar.
Oh.
It does make sense, though, that bringing in Smurf for Gibraltar. Gibraltar's very heavy Winston map.
Yeah.
But that
yeah,
also
you
makes
can't
me
relate.
very happy because I was really scared we were going to see double shield on Gibraltar.
Oh, you may still see double shield in Gibraltar.
Obviously, not the same Paris Eternal squad, but
Well, yes, but not out of shock.
Third point. They could still switch to double shield.
Oh, you're right. Oh, man.
We have seen Smurf go Orisa.
This is,
I don't think I think they would switch. I mean, unless they snowball or they have like a really good defense setup, which they could. I wouldn't doubt it on third point we see them go double shield.
You guys see that boat in the background? The boats in the background, if you've never seen, chat, as the game goes on, they move. Not all of them, but some of them. Some of them move on a trajectory.
Yep.
And they once they hit the end of it, do they go into the void or do,
They just disappear, yeah. You're probably wondering why we know this. Flats and I, we had a 20-minute queue one day, and we just ended up in a VOD. And then I saw there was a boat, and then after that, it just turned into us spending 20 minutes.
Oh, I remember what it was. They end up hitting the back door,
Of
the back
server
wall
room.
of the attacker spawn.
Oh, I thought it was
So if you go
server
to the
room.
back wall of attacker spawn after like 10 minutes and look through the wall, you would see a boat.
Yep. Literally does nothing. Like, we literally
Doesn't do anything,
Yeah,
but it's there.
But we discovered that one day. We spent like an hour Just doing that.
Want to point out that
Listen, sometimes there's long queues, and
this is a pure poke composition.
we just do that.
And Violet playing the Zenyatta.
They're ball sig. Okay.
Ooh, you know what that means? This is the ball Sigma comp.
Now we've got Violet playing his best.
Oh man, I am not a good ball. I'm not.
I mean, my ball's getting better.
Yes, and the Paris Eternal.
I guess I'm playing sig then.
That's fine.
With this composition, you have to play almost.
I roll through though.
Yeah.
How you're coordinating your shots with the rest of your
Okay,
team as well.
not bad. This is a wonderful start. I don't really know what's happening.
They're just poking right now, I think. Taking map control.
See, it really does come down to they don't really need to worry about the cart too much. It's more about the map control. You get the map control, and the cart will push eventually. In ranked, it's a little bit different because you'll be like, hey, let's go for high ground, and then 2 people go high ground, 4 people are on cart. You know, there's a lot of different stuff, but like in matches and scrims, a lot of the time it's just put 1 on cart, get the cart going a little bit, retake map control, but a huge pick already on both sides.
Yeah, honestly.
It's currently a 5v5, which we'll be seeing a lot of eventually.
Nothing's worse as Ashe than having to sit there and just reload because you can't do anything if they're in the fight for 10 seconds while you put bullets in.
When my dad played Ashe, he just kept reloading off of every bullet. Because he got down to no ammo, and then he would just hold left click and it would keep reloading after every shot.
To get back into this one, but we're going down.
So he'd shoot 1 bullet and then it would reload, shoot 1 bullet, reload. It was great.
That's great.
But now he's going to be using it. I'm not sure where it actually went. Onigod ends up taking it out anyway.
Revolutionary war rifle at that point.
It was something else. All right, anyway, Violet does go down here, but actually, they're able to res Violet. I wonder if they're going to try to retake this. Because the problem is the cart's right there, but I don't know. They might have to Zen ult this in a second. But I don't even think they will. I don't even think it's... Oh, yep, they're going to. Okay, so...
Violet wants to keep contesting this one.
You know what?
That's going to be the gravitic flux.
In hindsight, it was a good play.
Of course.
If they got the Zen ult before Smurf died, maybe a better chance.
But hear me out, though. In hindsight now, though, it was a good play. Would you do that every time? No. But once they Zen ulted, Paris wasted 2 ultimates.
The damage that the Paris Eternal
That's true.
Paris literally bobbed and Sigma ulted the moment they saw that Violet Zen ulted. Even though the fight was already won. It's okay, though. I mean, it's really hard to hold first point. But second point is difficult on a
If you win this fight as Shock, you could hold here for 10 minutes if you needed to.
Which is super important.
But winning this first fight is really tough.
Exactly.
And it just gives them opportunities to do stuff like this.
That was just impressive.
That was.
Ants gets dived on.
Wow.
He gets both. Wow.
What do you even do there?
There's nothing you can do.
You just don't.
That's what makes this first fight though really tough as a defensive team. Is you have to be able to fight off this map control that Paris now has, win the fight, and then once you do that, then you can hold for forever. But that first fight is tough.
That was a really good idea by Smurf there, though. They might be able to get the res off them. I don't think they're going to. I think it's going to be a 5v5 now, and Bob might be able to stop point for a while. This could be the time when they need it. And a huge pick from Ons.
This is the time for Ons to get a couple picks in, and if Glister can start cleaning up on them, they'll be huge.
Yep, but Bob pops off.
Oh, the res kill, though. They get the res off, but...
I wonder if there's an opportunity for them to take the pointer. I actually don't think there is. Damn, they're going to have to reset.
Yeah.
Now, do they stay
that's
on
such a good kill, too, on the Mercy.
Wow. I mean, Paris had insanely good teamwork right there.
Yep.
Like, insanely good teamwork.
Always putting them in rough positions. And because the Shock are committing to team fights that they don't have a great chance of winning, like the gravitic flux at the end there, the collapse onto checkpoint A. They're giving up.
What was that? Why?
So forwards already, straight off the rip, and Violet dies.
Okay.
Right now, Shock is just getting snowballed. So if they stop them at any point here, I do see Shock getting at least a couple minutes off the clock. Violet does have ultimate, so Violet's going to kind of chill in the back here. Really just going to be kind of a big
kill by Smurf right there.
It might be able to stop the res too. Or at least get the Mercy off of the res.
It's tough on that angle because booping him into the wall is the best thing, and the ball isn't further enough to get him off of it.
one of the crazy parts there too is Violet actually Zen ulted, and during the Zen ult, Paris still got 2 picks. This teamwork by Paris is actually crazy right now. They're traveling as like a unit. They're just going together. They're going in like it's crazy.
Is absolutely dominating as well. He's going to put
it also, I mean, this lineup is very different than the one we just saw, but it's also much more disorganized.
We're seeing that a little bit.
Yeah.
Whenever Glister's tried to contest him,
Troy needs a little bit of help too. Troy's been gonna get it like caught out a little bit more this map than the last one, just off on his own. And I mean that's kind of the nature of the ball comp, you know, being able to do a little bit more on your own.
Huge.
Yeah, they had ults coming out, which was nice.
They did. And if we look, they're actually gonna have Sigma ultimate now. This Sigma ultimate doesn't really get anybody with the kill. My major concern here is that Paris has a little bit of an opener right now where they can use Bob. So, as long as Shock recognizes they have Bob, there's an opportunity where they can just shred Bob and then have Choi's ultimate.
There's no Trank, though, on Paris' side, so it honestly could be a free kill.
That's what I'm saying. When you're playing Zen in these comps, Bob isn't as good. But Bob also has won team fights already for Paris, as we saw on second point Gibraltar especially. Huge, actually, ult here by Choi. Able to get the kill there, but I don't know if they're going to be able to deny the res. That's why they're going for Ashe right now.
They don't even need to, because if they go for the Ashe, then I had to hold on to try to save him.
Yeah, well, because the Mercy has the mobility to fly away anyway if they go for Mercy there. But Ashe, if they kill Ashe, even if Paris reses, they're going to have those numbers. And actually, that was a huge fight for Shock. That gives them the opportunity to build ults. Exactly. Now, Paris does have their ultimates coming up here right now, and they do have a lot of ultimates. But if Violet has a well-timed Zen ult here, and then Twilight's able to get Valk during that fight, they can turn the fight around. It's going to be about how well-timed this ultimate is.
Yep.
So even though he respawns and he's back in the fight now.
Also, Glister could get a pick with his Pulse Bomb. A pick with his Pulse Bomb would be massive.
Absolutely massive.
Especially if they get it onto the Ashe with the Bob up. That could give time for Ons to build another Bob. You know what? Honestly, getting on the Sigma with Flux, the res comes out though.
Yeah, but Twilight is able to get Valk in time, and Choi does go down there even through the Zen ult again.
I don't think he was in it.
I know. I'm saying like
far forward.
I'm saying as they have Zen ult, they're not able to keep them alive during that fight, and we have this opportunity now for Paris to take map control. Ons does have Bob, so for them, the communication now is probably that Bob is going to be coming out here soon. They can use Bob to delay points. They don't need to really go to the point aggressively, if that makes any sense. And they can use Bob to delay and kind of like regain the fight for them here. Obviously, though, Paris does have the map control. There's the Bob. Bob's actually in a pretty decent spot here, in the sense that they can't take map control now. Bob basically takes that whole sight line away.
Yeah, that's actually a really good spot.
Yep. Ooh, does get the kill.
That's huge. That's exactly what you need. That's going to keep him from building another Bob, even if he gets rezzed.
Yep. And they get the picks. I think Shock might be able to take this. Now, pause this. They full him.
I mean, there's a lot of positives out of that. Even though, you know, they were losing people during the Tranks, this honestly, Ons and Glister are working pretty well. Like, Glister's going after the targets that are low, and that I'm assuming Ons is hitting with like a shot or two.
Keep in mind, it does take time during these matches to kind of get. Sometimes, like, you ever play like a ranked game, and you kind of get full held for the, not full held, but you get like rolled for like 2 minutes, and then eventually the team starts to come together a little bit.
Yeah.
It's kind of what you saw there. They got rolled, and then after a while, they started to feel more confident in the plays they were making. So we started to see more Smurf and Glister in the back line making plays. And then we saw Violet having like much safer positions in the back and able to go to spawn. And we saw every time that, for example, Violet was getting low, Twilight was there to get the heals. And we saw a much better team play. Sometimes it just takes a few minutes to kind of get into the flow of things, especially when, you know, half they put in what, like they had like 2 subs going in there, right? 3 actually. They changed out 3 players, so for them this is their first map of the day, right? So obviously they've scrimmed and had warm scrim, but this is their first map, so it takes a little bit for them to get kind of into like the team side of things. So they're pretty happy with that hold. Obviously, Gibraltar's one of the maps, in my opinion, where all 3 points can be tough to take. First point's a little bit easier sometimes, depending on where the card is or who has high ground control, but second and third point can be very difficult for the attack. So
you can be full held on any point, or you could capture all points in 4 minutes and 30 seconds. You never know.
opt to make some changes.
It's a very interesting map. It looks like they're going to go for the TP strat here. Oh, actually, well, it's not really a TP strat. It's you TP to the other side, so that way you can get the high ground control up here. It's better than going up the stairs right there. Going up the stairs and not having... You basically can gain a little bit more of the high ground control. And we're actually seeing Paris go with a double bubble here instead.
I like that pick, actually.
It can work. I mean, if you play it like this...
They're going to just engage on the Sigma every time.
Yeah. But do you see how they play that? That's how you play double bubble. Where they call the engage, they make the engage. Not, we just, you know, like you see a lot of the time where double bubble will be Zarya bubbles Winston, Winston goes in, Winston jumps out, and then that's it. You don't do anything.
Compared to
right?
the shocks.
Mm-hmm.
For the shock, they're going to have Glister, just push the payload.
I think they actually did a full bubble rotation beforehand. Didn't get any charge off of it, but at least tried it.
Exactly.
But they've got to worry about those aggressive dives. It was so well coordinated from
So far, I will say this. Shock is happy with the cart is. They got a lot of cart control here. Now it's going to be about map control. They got the cart where they want.
Really low too.
Now it's about the map control.
Almost taken out Glister. They've got the mark now.
That is a big
You know what, that's actually a good trade.
Yes, that is a big
That break going now is huge.
And McCree used Flash.
I think Troy's in a little bit of trouble. I didn't get the big res.
We have a lot of trades here. They do nano in, but it looks like they're not going to get much value out of it.
Yeah, they actually are able to keep him out for the entire nano.
Exactly. Now it does look like...
Twilight's trapped. Oh, they popped the primal. You know what?
That's good.
They were going to lose that.
Exactly.
That's big.
That was a really good play there. For them to be able to get more ultimates out. And if we look, I want to point out, in the double bubble comp, it's really hard for Zarya to get fast grabs, and as you see, 2 minutes in, 65% of grab. It just happens in that comp. That's a huge pick, though. Violet going down early there gives Paris more time to build his ultimates. But there is still a time in here where Shock has pretty much every ultimate in the game. They have 6 ults.
Yep.
Obviously, Choi's a little bit behind Smurf and Violet, but 20%.
The big thing is they don't have nano or primal, so they can't do like a hard Winston engage.
I wouldn't doubt it if they start tapping the cart now to force them to kind of react to the cart.
I think Smurf was kind of doing right there. Oh.
Great play by Glister there.
Just wins the duel.
Suna also marking him. Violet falls.
I'm not sure.
And Bob
going
comes
to
out too to help clear up the Winston as well.
Valkyrie's going to be popped off here.
Honestly, I think I could just kind of cap here. Just kept some one person on.
I think they might get the kills here, although this is a tough spot to be in.
Yep,
they get the point.
Yeah.
Wow.
That kill on Oniga was huge.
It was. What I was surprised. So what happened there was Paris. There was an opportunity for actually that not to happen, where basically Glister went in for the McCree, and then the Tracer on Paris actually blinked by Glister and didn't take that fight.
Interesting.
I think they nanoed the Brig because keeping the map control here is really good, and if they lose Brig there or they lose like that choke, then it's going to be tough for them to win the fight. So for them,
no, definitely.
Yeah.
Still though, I feel like they could have.
They could have waited.
The HP bar, yeah, I didn't think the HP bar went down that fast. So maybe I just missed it. But this is actually tough position for Shock to be in, but they're poking them out very well, and there's the big pick.
I was just
and the Trent comes over from Violet. That's a good one. That's the one we've been looking for.
What I was going to say about that too is that Violet was saving that for the grab, but then once they got the pick, they see an opportunity to keep the map control.
Yep.
So
we're getting so much push too, and
huge stick. Now here comes the grab.
Wow.
Here comes the grab. They're gonna grab if they need. Well,
yeah, grab's coming. The cree's getting kind of low. Oof.
Ring true, so Smurf will be taken out.
That was actually a good hold recontest from Paris. That really did look like that was going Shock's way.
Still though, Shock is once again happy with where the card is.
It's the problem.
But now it's about the map control. The cart is in a spot now where once you get the map control, you win the fight. But now, how do you get the map control? This map is tough, and they're going to look for that opportunity.
As soon as Dawn or Khan get their ultimates online, or that rally comes up,
I think the cart moves back really fast on this point. I don't know why.
It feels like it does.
and turn it into
But I think
their
it's the same rate on every map.
Very flux indoors. Grabs used by Vistola. Has that actually catched onto
Good force out there from Choi.
Look at the point. They almost took the point.
Shocker trying to take this fight, but Smurf goes down. The res comes through indoors.
Wait, the body block res.
His position was forced there by the
Wait.
that came out from Smurf.
What? Dude, that was actually so nice.
As well. Only got now down onto the low ground, and he can't go anywhere. Smurf rolls
And they got the
through him.
point.
And that's the capture.
I think that's one of the biggest benefits of their comp versus, you know, running the double bubble is like the Zarya can't even be helpful there. Like just kind of, you know,
That's why
has decided to go for backline with their tanks or try to stop the push of the cart for the C9.
You ever like notice how when double bubble I'll be like, yeah, I just can't do anything?
Yeah.
That's exactly what happens when I play double bubble.
But you say that all the time though.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because that's exactly what's happening. I'm waiting for, you know, waiting for some space creation across the board.
I mean, I already died.
Don't be there.
It's like today when you're like, I'm bubbling you, and I literally was already dead.
Yeah, I bubbled you, I got 40 energy, and you died immediately.
Yeah, I blinked.
Yep.
Really the only one who's
For
contesting
them.
this card as
Woo!
well.
Bubbling when it used to be. What a rock.
What a rock.
Unbelievable accretion from Choi Ho.
Yup, rock.
And Glister.
And Glister wins the duel. Glister's winning so many of these in a stick.
Oh
my
And
God.
look where Paris is.
Map control is
Look where they
taking
are.
much off.
Like, they might just lose off of this. There's a possibility. Wait, they got off the point last time. They might have had that. But you know what? Playing to win here and surviving is more important than, you know, the off chance of capturing
Dude,
the
look
point.
at Liana. They can't do anything
Yeah,
about it.
yeah,
Like,
the back.
Wow. That Glister, honestly, unsung hero right now with these duels. Winning these duels, this out, like, that hard, like, those are 1v1s. He's just dominating.
And for Shock, this is once again one of those important maps because, you know, they just re-signed on. You know, it's going to take a little bit to get Ons back into the flow of the match. And Ons is playing really well. Glister was popping off. For them, that's confidence. That's going, wow, what a map. We took it together. We have a different lineup where we're getting these, you know, these new lineups going. And so far, we've seen Shock run 2 brand new lineups for the most part, right? They did run this comp a little bit before, and they're winning.
It's giving a lot of teams trouble at the moment.
Ooh.
Oh my God!
Yep.
That's gross.
Also, so people, I've been talking about some of the changes that have happened recently with the hit scan nerf. So, if anybody doesn't know, on the live version of Overwatch right now, as you know, OWL doesn't actually play on the current patch. They play on the patch when the tournament starts.
Yep.
Hit scan is nerfed. They have nerfed hit scan across the board.
Correct.
But
On the current patch, but not for Overwatch League.
yes, but hear me out. Widowmaker is buffed. So while you might see a little bit of, you know, different comps on Widowmaker maps, Ons will be there on a buffed Widow again.
Yep, next month, for the next tournament.
Yep. So remember, to give you an idea, with the hit scan changes, they made it so at range now. Remember how on like maps like Ilios on Ruins, Widowmaker couldn't headshot across the map anymore? Widow can headshot across the map again. So now, on maps where Widowmaker will be really good, you know, Widow's buffed and Ons will be able to pop off.
Yep.
So,
I'm interested to see that. That'll be scary. I think this is gonna be. I mean, we've already seen it. Like, Pharah's really strong now.
Yep.
Echo's strong. Echo, Pharah all got indirect buffs.
yes.
But Widow got buffed.
Exactly.
So it's like Widow's your choice. So it's like there's a weird dynamic there, right? It's like where Widow is even better than she was before, but Widow,
Yep.
you don't run Widow to counter Pharah most comps. Like, it just kind of happens that way.
Well,
you know,
it's map
like,
dependent. Well, I mean, the thing is, a lot of fights are going to happen mid-range anyway. But for example, you know, let me give an example of a map where Widow may not be the best pick, and Pharah will do really well. On Lijiang, what is the map? Garden, okay. Pharah can go like 8,000 feet into the air, and there's nothing you can do. A map like that is where you'll see that, like, Pharah dominate. And you can try to go Widow, but you won't be able to stay on Widow the whole time. Does that make sense? You can go Widow out of spawn doors, try to hit the shot, but then you won't be able to stay on Widow because there's just not many good Widow spots there where you can actually get a lot of value.
Yep.
So, yep.
Interesting. It's the whole dynamic of the game changes with that patch, really.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is that every hero can become viable. It's just gonna be, you're gonna have to wait and see what heroes are being played, and then if, you know, you need to readjust some of the hit scan, or if maybe it will be fine. We just don't know. It's gonna take. I always say this when a new patch comes out. It always takes weeks to see what's gonna happen with that patch, maybe months.
Yep.
Or Flats will go 10-0, and then he'll tweet that Reinhardt's amazing now, and the next day he'll go 0-10 and tweet that Reinhardt is not the best.
Okay, well, you didn't have to call me out like that because that's just kind of mean. But like, the thing is, I mean, you're not wrong with that. That's why you're seeing more double shield is the 4 or so mini buffs Orissa's gotten over time, and that makes Orisa strong. And if Ryan's being picked a lot and gets nerfed, and there's 4 mini buffs that happen to another hero that would replace that hero, then. As we work our way down the line, that's how it becomes meta. You don't see it right away.
Yeah.
That being said, though, you know what? Ryan is technically back to where he was before those buffs, so I was right.
No, honestly, like when it comes to like the funny part about that is I did that with D.Va before too, where I remember that during the double shield, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like D.Va. People were like, can I play D.Va? I'm like, yeah. I went 10-0. Next day, 0-10.
I remember that 0-10. That was funny. That was really funny.
So for me, it's like, you know what? I give the patches a little bit of time, like because there's been times where honestly I'll be like, yeah, this is gonna be the meta, and then it's not the meta at all. Not even close.
Yep.
I remember for a while, I'm like, people are like, well, what about Ryan D.Va? Does that work? I'm like,
supplier of the Overwatch League.
And then Ryan D.Va is really good, and then I started to understand Ryan D.Va. So I'm definitely curious to see what happens. Also, do you see how many what the shock sub count is right now?
Let me go take a look at what the shock sub count is.
And forget to put in your pick'ems like I did last week. Can you get the perfect bracket for the summer showdown? Or go to pick'em.overwatchleague.com.
The refresh button.
Your picks for this
99K?
Yeah. I mean,
they are almost at 100K subs.
Almost every week.
They're almost at 100K.
Submitted my picks for this.
You're not subbed to the channel.
Yep.
Shock's YouTube. Sub to. You could be part of the last 1,000 to 100K.
Yep.
That's special.
I think it could still happen,
You're doing intro.
That's special.
You're doing intro for the YouTube right here.
On top here that they
shock
might be
one.
able to
an intro for the YouTube?
Slower pace of the Paris Eternal compared to how fast the Gladiator play. But it seems like they're
No, I'm not doing this. I'm not.
crossing Paris by it is still thin margin, but it's consistent thin margins.
You know what? I end up shooting it like 4 or 5 times because I mess it up every time.
You know the best part is I'm gonna do when I do mine. I'm just gonna give me one take every time.
One take every time.
I'm just gonna do one take. Just see what happens.
Scrutiny, I think, from
You're gonna what's gonna end up happening is you're gonna end up having to say a thing like 3 times. Like what I was doing, I don't know if I told you, but I was playing some Tarkov, off stream, and then we had really long queues. So I was like, I need to hey guys, I need to record my YouTube intro, and they're like, yeah, that's fine. So I muted my mic and I recorded it for like 10 minutes. We get into a game. And one of them goes like, hello, we here? So I unmute my mic and I start talking. And they're like, Jeff, hello? And I was like, wait, I hit unmute. And I looked over and I'm muted. So I unmute my mic. I'm like, guys, was I muted that whole time? They're like, nah, we heard the whole thing. So I sat there talking to myself, recording the intro with them all sitting there. And I was talking about stream. I was like, twitch.tv/flat. And one of them breathed and I forgot my name. I couldn't say it. I messed it up like 4 times.
I remember I recorded the video and I recorded like a 25. It was like a 20-minute like Q&A.
Or the
Mike was muted.
Stuff that we've been talking a lot of recently. Unlikely.
I mean, 20 minutes. It was great too. I was like, I was doing the questions. I was, how like when you answer the questions, you want to like. Kind of like
FD got also former member
you look at the camera and you start to talk about the questions and answer them. It was perfect. It was great.
To win it potentially, going to be fairly happy about that. But
also, while we were talking about all that stuff, we're on to Hanamura. We have the Twilight Violet support comp. Third different, where we're seeing we see this.
It's the first maps comp.
We're on.
Except no, it's Violet instead of FD.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. They are one of the most scrutinized teams.
And we see Glister, Nero, Super, Joy, Twilight, Violet, and what are we seeing from the get-go? Exactly the comp I was hoping to see. One of my favorite
Orisa
comps.
D.Va?
Definitely one of Flat's favorite comps. Orisa D.Va.
2 years in a row. The expectations become.
This is not one of my favorite comps.
Yeah, it's not mine either. But I'm getting better at it.
You said today you like Orisa D.Va. We actually were in OT of a game. and you went, let me swap Diva here, walked back on Diva, and they walked out, double shield, cracked my shield, and one tapped me. Guess where you were? I don't know. I honestly don't know where you were. You were off somewhere. But regardless, though.
Actually, believe it or not, I was behind the shield.
Has had people wondering whether Shocker...
Yeah, they had like 6 ultimates. We were.
I
honestly should have went ball. I think I would have had more value on ball.
I apologize for the shock, you know.
Yeah, because they were on ball.
I've got 100.
And then I went Sigma again.
See that spot Choi's at? I'm going there every time now.
It's absurd, isn't it? The Shock fans.
You are?
Just up in arms about the 8-2 season that they've got. It's like, come on.
But, I mean,
all right, here we go.
Some TP strat. You know what? They should do what we did the other day.
Oh, that was a strat. People like that strat.
It's a very heavy poke.
They TP right onto the Orisa. But, you know, the Orisa's just so tanky. Even though, you know, like, you speed onto them. Oh, Twilight goes down. He just pops the Fortify and runs away. But they did lose they lose boss supports.
Yeah, losing boss supports is generally not ideal.
And it's very
but somehow they got 2 picks off of this, and they haven't given up a tick. They got 3 picks.
Putting on a show right now. They're getting these picks back.
Wait a second. Wait a second. What?
Wait, Nero? Oh my God, an actual assassin.
They might still be able to. They don't have a TP at his
that sim is very low. Oh my!
Are you kidding me?
Nero? Hello? What are you?
My favorite part of that whole team fight, outside of Nero popping off, was Super managing to shoot the Ryan shield the whole time, and the Ryan didn't get healed once, and they killed Ryan.
I saw that. I felt that.
I was
you do
the
either.
whole
You're just
time.
sitting there with Fortified, just like, nope, I don't die.
They do TP back to point, but they're gonna
Nero's
give
got ult too.
Oh wow, though I did not see that coming.
Oh, you honestly hate to see that.
Yep. What do you even do right there?
A bit of a reminiscent there of the great bamboozle almost, I suppose, when Showdown stayed in the spawn on King's Road.
Wait.
How did he even see Violet? That angle was so tight.
Yeah,
what a strat.
Positioning. Wonderful play.
You know what? Honestly, good. Even though they win that fight, like off of like that play, it honestly wasn't very clean. Like Bob was gonna come in here, and there was gonna be a chance that they were gonna take that back.
Positive. They took 2 minutes off the clock. When that looked like it was gonna be just they had the point immediately. So
Gliss are coming in on the Doomfist.
they're gonna be aggressive with Nero's ultimate here. They want to create as much space as possible.
Yep.
It's essentially what they're going for here. I don't think Gliss is going to be on Doomfist the whole time. I think they want to be aggressive off the sim wall too. They have sim wall, so there's a lot more chance of getting a kill off of the sim wall.
Something similar here.
TP, the wall as
They
well.
take this back corner.
Oh my goodness, that's a massive Bionate. It forces out the sound barrier.
Force out beat. That was big.
Yep.
Big nade from
Nero's
Twilight.
going to be patient here. Nero's going to be patient. Has to wait for the wall.
Yep.
Although I would have ulted on Pharah like 6 times here and died immediately.
Oh, 110%.
Yep. There's not much you can do there. There's no
Yeah.
opportunity. Maybe there's
Had
an
to look for
opportunity in the back of
something.
spawn there. There might have been, but
still holding on to this self-destruct as well.
It's so hard to
And
say.
with the Matrix as well, that is so much damage output that they're going to have to try and push away.
Troy's not gonna be able to touch. They boop him out, freeze him.
Stops him from contesting this one. The switch over,
Nero's gonna stall for at least a little while. It's tough to kill the Tracer.
Now they're chopping and changing. The rotation comes through around the side.
Twilight
Twilight tried to take the
fighting
high
out there
ground,
for
but
so
the solo
long.
was on him, taking him out of
Wait,
the
did they get a kill here?
that high ground perch
Wait.
position. Super with the fire
Yeah, Super got
takes out
wait.
Twilight.
Dude,
Still
they just
in the
keep
action.
leaving Dan
They need to
alone.
push
I
it
swear.
out.
Every time I turned around and look at this, like
Just about getting it
he's
on.
all by himself.
Nero still on the Tracer, still
Kind of reminds
sorting
you
it
of
out.
me of you. Like you leave me alone.
Flats, you literally you don't even you know how Reinhardt has the ability to just you hold like both your mouse buttons and you can look behind you.
A really good
You
play
just-
that we
you-
caught there
you-
from
this is-
Vestola,
Nobody
actually.
does that mid-fight.
Twilight going
Okay,
for that
Flats
reposition.
will just the moment Flat spawns, that's the start of the
spawn
next
is
fight.
always flooding through
It doesn't
on
matter if there's
Hanamura.
3 down on
One
our
of the best
team.
plays you can go for as an Ana
There,
is
there,
to
there could be
sneak
4
out
down on
and
our
take
team.
the high
Once
ground.
Flat
With the people
spawns,
off
that's the
side
next team
here,
fight.
by flanking all the way around.
And
What do you mean?
We'll be like, dude, where are you? You're like, oh, I was over.
Gets into one of those high ground
But here, let's talk about this.
continuously throw
What?
fire,
Shaw
can
heals
still
on
win.
everyone.
What did you even
Then
just say?
it
Shaw
becomes
can still
really
win.
difficult to punish. He
Okay.
has an enormous amount of sustain.
There's plenty of
So
time.
Great job from the new off tank of the Paris.
There's
Eternal
plenty of time.
to be able to completely
Paris
play
did the
down
one
before
comp.
it
So this
happened.
comp, this sim comp you see,
No,
is a
it's
very
real
good
top
comp.
Paris played that really well. Really, really well. And that wait, so Shock's gonna do the same thing. I wonder if that's just the new attack meta on this map.
Especially on this map.
Yeah, they are so creative.
I think this has been the attack meta on this map for a long time now. Like the Sim TP.
Haven't they been playing double shield recently?
Yeah, but like I mean, Sim TP has always been a strat that's been used. It's pretty much the one comp where you can get a really good time. It doesn't mean you can win the map, because what's going to happen is Shock probably will run a TP comp here. Paris will probably mirror, or go, maybe they'll go double shield?
Assuming you can aim, but it's honestly not too difficult as well when she gets going.
It's possible.
Mirror versus mirror.
But he also had 3 turrets set up there that just eviscerated Violet on the Lucio, who was coming out to try.
He's got a massive fire strike. That 25%.
Gets 26% towards his ultimate there, as he just fire strikes and coming out of the spawn. And the Shock, they've gone over to rush. Violet Lucio once more here. No FD got in the lineup.
Shock is very comfy on rush, so I'm very curious to see how they're going to play this here. And they're going to wait for another actually TP, so then they can TP behind them if they need to. Oh, here it comes.
They were very patient with it. Which normally you see that strat get interrupted immediately, but Paris was like, you know what, let's play safe and let's just chill here. Good wall by
the wall comes out.
Paris, but 2 picks!
Wait, 2 picks though. They all go after Super, and Twilight and Choi were just hanging out in the back. Or Choi was hanging out in the back, and just...
Absolutely clean.
That was actually beautiful.
Wow.
That's one of those times you think that the Shock are going to be in trouble there, and it actually uses it to their advantage.
They didn't have to use any ults for it. They weren't threatened by it.
And you know what? There is a timing for Shock here.
Opportunity for a snowball to develop.
They have Sim Wall, and they have Window first. Do they use Window first here?
Always coming back second with these big counter punches.
They have to.
Just looking like a great team.
Get ready.
Are we going to see a similar play?
Let's see this TP.
Like they would want to teleport somewhere and get value out of this amp matrix, but instead
they baited them to drop down. Now the downside is it does give them a little bit of opportunity to build the ults they need, but there's still a time in here.
I'm
curious as to why they went that way though. They could have went. Well, I guess maybe they want to have the TP up at this time.
This is going to create some mind games. Comes around the side and look.
They go high ground with that.
They went high ground and then they dropped.
Wait a minute! Oh my God! They took. So the supports are up on high ground now.
Yep.
Safe. Okay, I'm be real. I don't know what's happening at this point. There's so many walls and windows.
This is what's happening in this strat right now, and I think that's what they're doing.
They gotta look to kill Dan. Dan is way too far forward.
Yeah, but they're able to get the kill. But, okay, so Twilight does go down, but there's a time in here where Shock can still win this fight. A big slam.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Yeah.
It was the corner. His shutter didn't cross the corner.
Oh yeah, I know. It's weird how that works.
Yeah, I've done that, and you laugh at me when I do that, though.
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, I laugh when I do it.
I think they outplay themselves there, Brent.
When you do it,
I don't exactly know what Twilight's amp matrix is.
I'm gonna be honest though. Those fights are really hard to follow from third point POV.
Well, that
like
angle. If the camera was a little bit.
Wait, are they gonna rush point? Rush point here. They're gonna rush point because they see everybody's high ground outside. They decided not to. They faked it.
Yeah, if the camera angle was more towards like the high ground where like Widow will stay, I think we would have had a little bit better opportunity to understand that fight. But it was a good strat. This time they just decided to go for like the high ground play, and they do get a pick. Wait a second.
And they TP into them? Okay.
Huge mail coming in.
Good mail wall from right there from Nero. Forces the lamp. The lamp doesn't do anything. Now they can get the Diva for free.
They might be able to finish with a better time here.
Out as long as they just don't get accidentally caught out by a right click from Sim.
They might finish with a better time.
They're gonna? Wait.
Oh, and they do.
They got it.
They have a better time. Like I said,
those fights are tough. Those fights are tough, but man.
Yep, it's the one team comp that can always make it so you have opportunity to win. The problem is that if you don't do it in the first 2 or 3 team fights in attack, the other team has 6 ultimates, and you pretty much. It's all about coordination too, right? But getting that same coordination, like getting everybody. That's the biggest problem with like when you try, especially in ranked, when you try to do the same strats. Sometimes these strats require everybody to do like. Listen to the strat.
They made that decision.
Yep.
Right, everybody to okay. Listen, we're gonna TP here, and then we're gonna TP here. Right? What ends up happening is you go, oh, wait, McCree's one shot, and then somebody flies to McCree, and then.
They're actually 215 HP.
Exactly, and then Lucio goes to save the Diva, and then Reinhardt's confused, so Reinhardt charges, and then that screwed up the whole fight. What we're seeing is really good team play and really good rotations by Shot, and that's why these team comps work so well. But I've also seen it in ranked where we just TP to point, and the other team is so confused that we just win. Or you TP at the front door to the other side of the door, and then the other team gets confused even more, and then you win. I still love that strat. That was great.
For those who don't know what he's talking about, we TP'd from behind the van to the right where the mega is here, like where the camera is right now. Not even through the choke, like just on our side. We TP'd from one side of our choke to the other side of our choke, and their team panicked and rushed out at us, and we just pinned them and just killed them.
We won the fight. It was great.
We won the fight. It was very interesting. It should not have worked, but it did.
Yep.
So,
all right, here we go. Hoping for a better start for Shock here. Last time they got picked off immediately. They did win, but they probably would prefer if they don't lose both their supports. Huge pick. Almost makes this fight one for them, because I don't think they can...
They can't heal up their
unless they make an
no
insane play. Well, their May almost gets Nero.
Almost bringing him down in the process before
Drake swooping in.
to the high ground. Vastola taken out. This TP still up.
Honestly, Nero got the best pick he could have got right off the bat. That keeps him from being able to win that fight. And they don't build an our window.
First kill was set up from a halt from Super.
Nero's got ult. He's got barrage in 15.
Grabs a couple of players up. Twilight went for
that's
a
big.
at the same time, and then you have Nero's damage boosted rockets coming through. Good,
especially if they try the same like rush through the middle thing and Nero's set up for it, ready to go. They're not gonna have a fun time.
I understand this comp a little bit more too. Once you win the first team fight, you can build a ton of ultimates that make it so it's hard for them to actually win. Nero's ultimate very important here.
Yep.
Like very important.
Nero does have the barrage, but often it's a bit of a death sentence when you try and offload it.
Super just holding point with the and look at how well they rotate each other out. Super uses his fortify and waits and look at this angle right here. I think he's gonna look for it.
Yep. Really good DM. I mean, I would
double DMs.
That was crazy.
This is not over.
No, it's not. They get the res off too.
They get
and
the
Bob.
res, and that was their beat.
They might be able to take this.
They might flip this, even with because they don't have another support ult to lean on.
And then a bunch of stuff happened, and then here we are.
Man, that was close though.
Still though, if I'm Shock, I'm happy with that. I mean,
I'm very happy with that.
2 minutes, they still, have Diva Bomb, and they're going dive here. They're going for a dive play. And once again, the reason why they're doing this play
is bomb.
Changes for the Shock as well. Nero moving over to the Doomfist, great in these OT clutch.
Do they just play this? You know what? Do they just dive him here? Play aggressive.
Look at Twilight. Twilight's setting up for it. He's setting up for the nade.
They're gonna play aggressive. They have to play aggressive here. They can't give them the space.
Onto that vulnerable backline.
Tracer's setting up the touch. They're gonna touch point.
So good in a lot of these scenarios, but we haven't seen a massive self-destruct.
They fake the TP and then rush the top.
Bit of a bait there from the
Yeah, and look at Twilight. Twilight's already set up in a good spot because if they did that, they actually just can't get to him anymore.
Yep.
Down onto the low ground, only got falls. And Don's finding it hard to try and get.
Again, I think it's a slam on Glister. That's a good slam
Huge
on
pick
him.
though. Toy
Oh
gets
my
2.
god! And then the crush. And then the crush.
The mech comes down.
Wow. Big bomb by Choi, and then the crush remech too.
Nano boost onto Choi to keep him alive for just that little bit longer.
They're trying to just boop him off at this point. Oh, that's a bomb. Oh, it's too high. Didn't do the damage.
Twilight falls. I'm gonna have those Bionades now. Super comes
Lucio gets real low, but doesn't fall.
Just to get back into the action as
There's a lot happening.
There's a lot happening.
Matrix on the high ground. He's managed to take out 2 as Violet and Super.
He comes back with the Ant Matrix. Uh-oh.
I don't even know what's going on. But Nero.
Nero's going for the flank. Sneaky Bastion! Sneaky Bastion!
Able to get 1.
Sneaky
Almost
Bastion!
2.
Let's go. That's huge.
But somehow the fight's still
Come
going.
on, Super! From the slam! Oh my god, he's hitting the right clicks in midair.
But the heals to get wall again. Wait, what is happening?
Unbelievable.
What is
They
going
have to
on?
get the BAB.
They might have to give him a tick.
Let's keep them all in it.
They're just gonna give him a tick. There's no reason to not to give him a tick here.
They just think Choi's mech to try to get the baby diva. It was a little too late though.
They have beat now.
And Choi flies around the ball to not wake him up. Super gets
Pins
the
the ball. They have beat now.
Beat comes back out.
They got Gribble down wall again.
Charge. He's gonna go Super Saiyan if he goes any higher.
I don't know who's gonna win. Wait,
he's gonna come up huge now. Needs to collect these picks.
What?
For the rest of his
Glister gets the pick. Glister gets sick though. What? Violet goes down. Oh my god.
Oh my god, the stick.
With the pulse bomb, the stick comes through. He's just about clutched it for them. Overtime comes away from Dredro. The Paris Eternal, they cap it up. 4 on the board for them in the overtime in an almost impossible scenario. And oh my word, a round of applause can't for that one.
Is anyone else getting hints of the Paris Gladiators game? That is the
you know what I feel like? I feel like we had some really good YouTube thumbnails with you and I right there.
Hanamura into they are heavily favored.
You think so?
Like you're just like, how did they win this? And I'm just like,
3 on the objective, incredible.
And you were just like sitting there too, like that would have been
as well.
Yeah. All the overtime spawns for both teams, by the way. So Paris Eternal trying to come back in.
Didn't you just have a video go like 2 videos ago that said how did they do this or something like that?
I have no idea.
To be able to collect
big
picks through his amp matrix and then keep alive at the front line.
You can't even be mad about that. You can't even get mad.
That was crazy play.
Has been phenomenal. Every time
Only God almost hit Super Saiyan with how charged up his beam was. Naga I think got like 6. Khan comes back with the window and put them back in the fight.
And all they needed, I think, is a little bit.
All right, so what are the chances here?
They're able to transfer that team fight into a win on Hanamura.
What are the chances here that Shock finishes with more time again?
I think it gets.
I think it's gonna be OT.
We're going 4-4 here.
4-4.
Nice.
In terms of what they would be capable of. We'll find out if we are going to get those echoes of that Gladiators match. All
right, here we go. Oh, they're going for the top strat.
On the sim, going to be TPing up now.
Oh, almost got the Lucio. Almost caught him. They caught him. That's big.
They're finding him and being able to isolate him.
That's so big. Not only because they lose the speed, but also because they're not going to have their beat for the next fight.
They might be able to get this kill on Ryan here. They get the point. There's no way they get the point. And look at the L charges. I haven't looked yet. I was just saying, look at the L charges. All right, so they have Shatter coming up. They have Window.
9% to 48 on beat. That is scary.
Quite a bit of time, honestly. It gives them an opportunity.
Never mind all the other ults that are ahead on.
They get a minute 46, which is basically 2 team fights. Or 2 minutes of stall on the point for like an hour. We don't know who's going to win the fight. They go immediately.
I think they're just going to send it. I think
before the Paris Eternal can even possibly respond.
Yeah, I mean,
wait, Ryan could die. But Twilight goes down immediately. Is it still winnable though?
Don went really far there. Now he gets some more kills again, coming back in.
You know what though? They took a fast fight. They built up their ultimates. And they still have that fight. Imagine if they, had that same situation happen where they didn't take a fast fight there. Here we go. It's coming down to 1 fight.
The beat is key. Because everything else is pretty much on par with each other. That beat lead is huge.
As to why Twilight didn't invest that ultimate, because it looks to me like a great position to be able to use it. And you've given Paris
where do they TP here?
To make this final fight a good one.
Top left.
And a lot is going to come down to
nah.
this now. By the time these teams
well, I guess I was right.
I'm going to go with top left.
Out of their playbook, the TP comes through, but Paris they immediately
super drops.
Super drops on the Don.
Which I don't know if they want to do that initially.
I think he does. Oh, the. Why? I know that feeling.
Reset.
Oh no, that was huge kills. Yeah, one more.
And they brought it down to the final 25.
They still have Slam, and they still have Blizzard coming up.
And the question is, how
it's not over. They have the ults. Paris does not have the ults. They only have bomb. Okay, they have beat actually. They have beat too. But beat and bomb. Okay, that's actually kind of a scary combo.
Choi does touch.
Choi gets the touch. Super gets run up.
I don't think it was going to shatter like... Wait, what?
Yeah, I don't know how they didn't shatter the D.Va, but okay, you know what?
No!
Oh no, they didn't get to take the TP.
No more heals for them. It's got to be big clutch moments now from the
They have to stack on Super and take as little damage as possible.
Bomb into the sky, Vistola with a self-destruct. It's going to be blocked.
Oh, the crush! No!
Block that. Maybe Avast had a point. Maybe he was correct about something for once. We don't know. But we'll see if Vistola still holding on. The beat down. The Paris Eternal. Win out, and there you go. That's going to be the map going their way. Wonderful form from them.
Wow.
Taking Hanamura and potentially setting us on course for the reverse sweep.
What an outrageous map from Khan in particular.
I think that should hit the
Also,
diva,
you
I'm gonna be
gotta give
honest.
credit to the rest of the squad too.
I thought that the
Huge
two people
moments
on the
from
bridge
Khan,
should have been
huge
shattered
moments
right there.
from Onigod on submission
Yeah,
as well as
100%.
Stola. But Khan is just there.
I'm gonna be
I've
honest.
actually been
I
having that
thought-
problem recently where I feel like I've been hitting stuff and it just doesn't hit.
I mean, that's why I always like say people are like, "Wow, your Ryan's so amazing," you know, to me, and I'm like, "Yeah, I know." But then I missed my shatter, and I'm just like, "Yeah, that should have shattered them."
Eternal well on their way, potentially.
Who says that to you?
Stealing away this win from the Shocker, making so close. But we'll find out. It's not over just.
I don't think anyone
yet.
says
Don't
that to you.
call it. Absolutely, one more map really.
I can't believe what happened this map. This was a close one.
Or
But Shock still has a 2-1 lead and going on to Hollywood.
Ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere.
Oh, I bet we see Ons again on Hollywood.
Yes, I would not
Yep.
doubt that.
Coca-Cola is the official.
With the Ash comp again?
Yep.
Wouldn't be surprised. You know, that's just tough though to watch. That's just tough, you know. I mean, well, I guess actually technically on both ends, both the spectating end when it was the shields everywhere and mails everywhere, and also just like, you know, seeing at the end. That's tragic.
Good match to watch though. That was competitive.
Yeah. Oh, I was very competitive.
That was super competitive.
Mm-hmm. God, the Paris is OT. That was crazy good.
Yep.
That was crazy.
But
You can't even get mad at him.
that was one of those games though. We look at that and it's not. Shock wasn't like massively outplayed there. It
Mhm.
just came down to the last team fights on both sides. That was it. So for Shock,
Yep.
they're going, you know what? On to Hollywood. Let's get the double shield going. Because that's what, if
The
anybody's
double
wondering,
shield.
Hollywood has become very much a double shield map. Ever since they changed the way the elevators work, or like the platforms work on Hollywood and Volskaya, which was, I mean, it was probably almost a year ago they changed that.
Really? It's been a year now?
It feels like it, right? Maybe not. Maybe it's been 6 months. No, it's been longer than 6
No,
months.
it's definitely been longer than 6 months, but maybe it has been a year.
Yeah.
I can't believe how massive a change that was for the game too.
It made the map a little bit more playable.
Remember when everybody was talking about like adding like, I don't know, like stairs and like ramps and like redesigning the whole map and stuff? Just fix the elevator.
I think they should do that for Dorado.
Add an elevator?
I still think adding some way to get on the high ground easier would make Dorado a lot more playable on second point.
Where would you add an elevator on Dorado?
Honestly, you know, like when you come out of like the gates on attack second point, right there, you add it right there. You don't make people have to go all the way around to the back side of those stairs.
So you would add it on the right side
Yes.
and it would go straight up to high ground?
Yep.
Like, I'm just thinking logistically there. Like, wouldn't it just be in the way of the pathway? It wouldn't be like on
Well,
its own
there
thing?
would have to be a redesign there in general with how they do it. But yeah. Just think about this. You're not giving them the high ground to the left, you're giving them the high ground to the right. Which means you still have to work for that part of the map, but you don't have to go all the way around up the stairs. Take your time, go all the way over there, say hello, have the other team, you know, rotate around, get 3 picks, and then you just, after the 4th attempt, you just finally go low ground again and hope for the best.
That's fair, actually.
I think second point will play a little bit better.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I'm okay with that.
Now we just wait.
I wonder if they go back to the first point comp they had, where they have, well, actually no. If they're playing Double Shield, they're gonna play BAP. So maybe they do the same thing, but with, no. FD play Mercy, and then Violet play BAP, and play the Ash comp Double Shield with. What would they run for the other one? Other DPS.
I don't know. Echo.
Oh, Echo,
I think
yeah.
you run Echo still.
Welcome back from the break.
Yep. Or the Torb.
And,
Torb could work, but I think Torb is more designed around
it's really shaping
certain matchups more than it is about running Torb there. I think Torb turret actually will lose a lot of value in Hollywood.
They're
For the
becoming
most
one of
part.
my favorite teams to watch, just in terms
Because-
of
Really?
Well, you think about the spots you can put Torb turret. Like you can put Torb turret
Yeah.
top left, right? But it's easier to kill Torb turret when it's up top left.
Being, you know,
I could be
Well,
wrong.
on first point, everyone always puts it in the bushes in the back, and then it becomes their best player. 'cause
First
nobody
point it
can
can
see
work. I'm thinking second point. First point, it 100% works. Torb turret. I'm thinking second point. Sorry.
Second point is like what Hollywood is known for. I feel like too.
Which Echo, I think Echo would do a little bit better there for like the AOE damage when they go down below. Torb can be played there though. I just think it loses like a little bit. As they play Torb the whole time, probably. I'm like, yeah, I love Torb on second.
But it was a mediocre start to the season. But
All right,
that's
lineups.
almost better
We got
than people
Glister,
expected.
we got Smurf, we got
What
Twilight,
we
we
could
got
start to see from
Nero,
this team
we got
is that
Choi,
they've
and we got
got
Violet.
genuinely
This makes me
good
think they're going to run the
teams
Ash
breaking
Echo
away
comp.
from the middle of the pack.
Do you think maybe they're gonna run ball? Ash Echo ball?
Which okay, it's still a long
I
way
think-
They ran Smurf on Gibraltar with ball.
True, and they actually ran Super on Hollywood.
Turn it around and reverse sweep
Oh,
the
I
shot.
wonder if Sigma Ball's becoming the comp here.
They got Vancouver coming up. They could start
Sigma ball could be.
edging ahead.
It could be
7-5
Sigma
would
Ball.
be an outrageous record for the Paris Eternal. Way better than anyone was expecting. They do say though, Brent, the third
It's
map
possible.
is always the hardest to get.
What comp do you think it could be?
Championship level teams like
Sigma
San
Ball?
Francisco Shock. You can get 2-0 up on them. You can get whatever, but being able to actually close it out is
Could be.
very.
Wait, why? Did you not hear me the first time?
I think that the Paris.
So, I mean, but I think it still could be double shield.
Is going to get more and more progressively difficult for them to take.
oh yeah.
You think it'd be double shield?
Double shield or Sigma Ball?
Well. When we were talking about the expectations
okay.
of the Shock, I suppose, and I guess the kind of fan narratives of, you know, expecting that three-peat of, you know, another championship win, and, you know, being all doom and gloom about some of their performances not making it into the tournaments. You got to remember that, you know, the reason for that is because these guys have
All right, let's go.
just buckets of experience.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just.
All right, so listen.
In scenarios,
Paris reverse swept
some
Gladiators
teams might
last
be in
time.
a
Shock can't
situation
let this
they can
happen.
feel
We don't want them to go to a
away
control
from
map.
teams like the
So,
Gladiators.
Hollywood is the map they
But,
win.
when you've been put in this kind of
Yep.
situation many times, you can recall on that knowledge and you can start putting it in your game as we head over to Hollywood as the map. And the Shock are going to be looking to try and stop this ball from rolling out of control.
Okay, back to the screen.
Metaphorical snowball going down the hill, gaining mass, speed, momentum.
I love it. You could be a physics professor.
I think you definitely ran on the
Actually
Echo
could,
comp,
Yeah.
Yes, that's why I
especially
said
with
that.
Nero's still in.
Yep, 100%.
I'm very interested to see, honestly, what
Maybe even
happens as
Farah. We might see
get
more
deeper
Farah,
into
but I don't
the
think so.
series. It is one.
I
I think we'll see Farah next tournament.
I agree.
But it's very difficult for them to be able
Because especially Nero just had a very good showing on the fair.
2 reverse sweeps happen this entire season, and we're deep into it. You know, we've had a lot of matches be played, but we
And
saw the
exactly what we were thinking.
Sweeps.
The
I may be forgetting one, Brent, but
Double
as far
shield.
as I can remember, it's only the Defiant against Atlanta, and then Paris.
That's because they're still in spawn, right?
I don't think
There's been,
Shock's
good
actually going to run
comebacks
Rush
and
here.
Stuff in our BO, well, not BO, but first to 4 games. You know,
Yeah.
the big comeback
Wow.
in the June
Shock
finals,
will do
down
that
to
sometimes
1,
where they'll have the
that's not a
comp
true
at the
reverse
beginning.
sweep in the same
It's not the comp they're
sense.
playing.
So it is still very difficult to be able to come back.
Because you think they're looking for a different type of comp, like they're scouting on this to see if it's good,
Close it out.
and then if it's not, then they go back and swap.
Another interesting comp coming out from the Paris Eternal. They're going to run Dawn on
There you go.
Ursa,
No, I
Scorpion
think they
down
just-
on
that's
it
what they just-
with
they
the
just
Bad
normally
Mercy
do that.
backline, which applies damage boost onto Onigon
Double
as
bubble.
required. This is a large amount of poke.
Double bubble,
Against double
Tracer,
shield?
Hanzo.
Like a potential for backline harassment
Okay.
as well.
Okay.
All right,
He's just
Yep.
so good
show
at
us
the
what you
echo
got.
Let's see.
Show me what you
a
got.
lot of these comps.
Yeah, absolutely. And the amount of damage you output.
Oh my god! Did you see the HP pool almost just hit
She really
like
does
from
feel
500 to 0?
especially in the hands of someone
Oh, I'm
like
just used to
Naga.
that lane tank.
What can I even do in some of these scenarios? You can see him searching for angles here with the sticky bombs. If he catches it onto one target, it could be in.
The thing they do different than what we do is they fake the engage to get full
Yeah.
charge, and then they go again.
Yeah, they like they play together and they heal and they
Naga still
they go
putting
in.
the damage as well, just chopping and changing. But the important
Ooh!
thing to note here is that
Super
Twilight
just-
has
I mean,
Wait.
the Smurf just sends it.
Might not even need it. There
Wait.
we go. Nano boost applied onto them.
What a
Little bit of tickle
play.
there onto Dredro to take them out. And that's
Wow.
going to be the team fight win here for the San
Wow.
Francisco Shock.
Okay, I will say this.
That was such a fast nano too.
If they get second point here, this will be great. And I say that because second point has been very difficult for teams.
It's very difficult.
It also got 45-second nano, maybe less actually, maybe 30-second.
The ult charge without just planking.
Because like the 10-15 seconds walking out of spawn and
Yep.
stuff, and I saw a minute when they took the point. So like,
How about this switch though? Paris switches off of Echo and goes Farah.
switches to fair. Interesting.
Yeah.
This primal could be nasty to try and
Wow.
shut them off. taking a lot of
I wonder if they're looking
spam
just to
damage.
spam out more, and they're not
He's
trying to deal with the tanks, because Echo is so much more dedicated against like tanks and shields and stuff. Wow, and Smurf just making so much room, and just there's nothing you can do about that. They don't have anything to deal with Smurf going after the BAP like that.
And the thing is, by the way, Smurf did that play without even having nano. Like, it wasn't like they had a set play there. Smurf just had ultimate.
On first point?
No, right there.
Oh yeah, on that one, yeah.
That was just like a solo play. Obviously, Smurf would have used
so he had the confidence
exactly,
for it.
but like,
with the headshot onto
That's
I
always
love
scary.
like this is a great play.
Nero's excellent picks. The Hanzo, he's been
So the Bob doesn't stop the card though, which gives them more card time here.
He gives him huge card time, honestly.
To me, feels like a bit of a
Bob's gone.
check for the San Francisco Shock. It's like, okay, you don't have answer. Who's gonna deal with me? And it's Nero.
Yeah, Nero trying to hit the shots.
Dude,
And
I mean, I don't know if you just heard the cast. It's like, who's going to deal with the Pharah?
Yeah.
I don't even think they even have the opportunity to even say who's going to deal with the Pharah.
Yeah.
Smurfs is touching the spawn door.
Was it me or should they have?
did it to win that
Actually,
team.
never mind. That was the cart wasn't moving for a while there, and I was like, maybe they have an opportunity to retouch that. But
From Paris here.
no.
Nah.
Trying to get this cart in, but no one's going to be able to.
Smurf went and touched the spawn door. That was...
Try and engage and contest
Let's
quickly.
point out here that
One
Paris'
on the
comp
tracer.
does gain a little bit more value now going into
Forced
third.
out, it's a dangerous
But-
time.
Yeah,
With
but
the
there
way-
goes the bongo for... And Smurf actually doesn't use the primal there. Ops to say it's not worth it. They're already going to win the fight anyways.
Yep. Well, exactly. Smurf hasn't even used Winston all yet, if I'm correct.
He would have had, I think, 4 of them by now at this point.
Want to point something else here, by the way. Look at Paris dying in the back line, and look what Shock was doing the whole time. Having one person
Cards
push the
move.
card because they knew the fight was won, and that value
one
gives
fight
them a last
territory
fight.
now.
Exactly. And if you look, Twilight's close to Nano. I wouldn't doubt it if Smurf goes in with ultimate here,
Yep.
or they use beat aggressively. Actually, no, they're going to save beat for Sigma ultimate, and then if they get Nano, they just right after that, Shock gets Nano. I mean, Smurf gets Nano. Excuse me.
Smurf's just going in.
Yep, exactly what we're seeing.
That bubble into the backline. Smurf is just
Now they're
Beat
gonna have
comes out for
Nano.
the flux.
Smurf's gonna
Now
stay in range.
Ryan can't do nothing.
Yep.
Ryan's just dead.
Now
Oh
they
my
just Nano Smurf. Nano Smurf in like 2 seconds.
This is the
There it is.
biggest MTD I have seen in a while.
There it is.
Oh my god. That was disgustingly good.
That was exactly the play we were talking about, though. Exactly. You just go in with Winston ultimate, so you don't wait on Nano, right? Because sometimes you'll be like, oh, let's just sit there and build Nano. Let's build Nano. Why not do that, right? Instead, you have Smurf go in, play aggressive, trust the backline to survive because you have beat, and then give Nano to Smurf. So not only do you have the Winston ultimate, you then deal with Smurf's extra damage. And Smurf will know what targets are low at that point because Smurf is in their backline as Winston, so they can get the ultimate, go back in, pop off.
I think the Shock have come out determined to not let that happen to them. They will not be casual.
Jack, can we get a Smurf diff in chat? Can we get a Smurf diff? That is a Smurf diff. I'm gonna be honest.
Smurf
That
plays
was
really well.
happening here. That's an emphatic
that was
statement that the Shock have
a
put out.
full carry.
I want to give credit to Violet's Lucio ult that fight too. That beat was very well timed and was when they were very patient there on that. That was really good.
Just absolutely monstrous. Even
Smurf
the
just
areas
popped.
of Hollywood where you would think you were able to take a better team fight.
Bob didn't even
the Shock
give him a
were just winning
chance.
straight away.
Yep.
Like for example here, checkpoint B to
Oh, I
Okay,
know what I'm doing
now-
now.
And it looks like, I wonder if this would be Paris' normal attack comp, or if they're changing up their comp now because they just got absolutely rolled.
Get a hold off there, but they just fell over instantly. And it's
Here we go.
yeah. As much as we were setting up the narrative, the
Smurf
what,
diff.
what do you call it, Josh? What's the correct analogy here? House of
I don't
cards or
know.
something? I don't know. The house of
Yeah,
cards we were
sure.
building.
All right,
you know,
Smurf.
me and you were
Yeah,
going
yeah.
We see
by
you.
piece, we were just,
Do it again.
you had the
Do it again.
aces,
Do it
I had the
again.
queens, you know, I
Yep,
was just
yep.
trying to set it up.
Do it again.
And the Shock, they just blow it over straight away.
They did.
It's
You know what this means, though, right?
The Paris Eternal would have to come out with something absolutely monstrous. I don't know whether they have it in.
I'm not
I
playing
don't know
Arista
whether
no
any
more.
team in the league has it in them to be able to respond.
What,
to that.
on this map?
They,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
could
just
not
ain't
come up with the
happening.
right adjustments
They were just waiting to
be
see what
able
comp they wanted to
pressure
go.
on the Shock. And the Shock just dominated them, always having control of the tempo there.
Yeah, they're switching rush.
Smurf just running.
They're
over
switching
them.
rush.
Smurf's Winston, by the way, recently has just been phenomenal.
It seems like they're confused on what they want to go in the comp, though.
Eventually gonna
That was a
move to-
really good 30-second hold there
Yeah,
so
rush
far by
this
Shock.
time
Yeah, so far 30-second hold.
Yep.
Let's go.
Yeah, that was really well played.
oh no,
Hello?
Wait 1 second.
What?
They've spent half a minute in spawn changing their comps.
Great start here by Shock.
Dude, Shock is Shock is holding on strong right here.
Wow.
No damage taken for a while.
Give some more windows,
Okay.
I suppose, to fight more frequently outside of
Wait,
the
Smurf just sent it. Oh my.
But Smurf goes deep. Oh my goodness.
I'm pretty sure
What?
Shock.
He's gonna grab that mega health pack as well.
I'm pretty
but
sure
he will be
Shock
taken
just held
out
that point
anyway.
like
Shock
just
needs
sitting
to win
there
this fight out.
longer
If he
than
can
Paris had
stack
held
out
first
any sort of
point.
kills, it could be beneficial for
Yeah,
him. Nobody was
actually,
really dealing with Onigod.
they actually
And
AFK'd
therefore,
longer than Paris held.
to spawn point, are going to be in a situation now
Although,
they can take a better
pretty
fight.
aggressive play by Shock. It would probably be a good idea to reset for a second here.
Wow, that's a lot of damage on the Glister as well. He's gonna have to go off. 2.5 minutes now. Don under so much pressure.
Smurf's back.
Don has got
Yep.
to heal him up. They're gonna be closer to a nano boost potentially.
They almost got the nano boost too.
The FPS is getting like randomly like.
Yep, I'm watching it.
Okay.
Someone's computer is not
Yep.
doing too hot right
Able to
now.
really finish off the Winstons, may have just
Or I guess technically is doing
Skeleton
really
feet.
hot.
Onigod taken out by the
Wow.
straight to the head.
And Smurf's back in their spawn.
Smurf has decided this game that he wants to take a trip to his vacation home, the enemy team's spawn door.
Although, I will say one thing. What are we noticing about Shock right now?
Aggressive.
Aggressive gameplay, and this is how Shock plays.
Smurf's leading the charge though. Like on that first fight after they held for 45 seconds not doing anything.
Yep.
Smurf went 3v1 in the backline and they just couldn't do anything about it.
Hey, he was vibing.
To nano him instead. So Paris Eternal's backline just fell over. And now they can come back in with their own nano, sure, but the Choi Open's waiting
Choi?
to grab them. They've got grab
Wait.
Pulse,
Choi?
they've got grab Dragon.
Wait.
Choi, what you got going on over there?
Com's going to come through right around the corner. You can see the defense matrix being held. But
Oh my god, he held the DM as long as he could. But there was nothing he could do about it. That was so smart.
Really even necessary there from Glisters. They already had the
Wait,
damage coming
they
through.
echo?
Paris do not want to give this one up though. The duplicate.
Wow.
Oh wow, they're gonna fight to win this.
Almost being taken out, bursted down to very low amounts of HP, but finally builds up this primal rage and an
They get
opportunity
Choi.
now
I think
is
that
here.
isn't there
Paris
one more
Eternal.
back there? One more Shock member in the back line?
Just about starting to build up a bit of that capture time now as well.
Maybe not.
Now he has to use the flight. He's going to be coming actually.
Smurf's gonna get trapped in, but gets out. Gets out.
There's a lot happening.
Primal. Oh, there's a slap fight going on the top of the cafe.
There's a lot happening. Wait.
Smurf's going for the W on the slap fight. Oh,
Wait,
wait. Hello? Wait, what?
Wait. There's a lot happening. I don't know what's going on.
Lag is kind of making it hard.
Oh, absolutely, but I've also learned nothing in this team fight right now. I just know there's a lot happening. But wait, Twilight's close to Nano. They're gonna Nano Smurf, maybe.
If they can hold on a little bit longer, someone has to touch.
But
Smurf
Twilight
goes.
dies.
Smurf's back in.
Oh, wait, they got a kill.
Joy's got to hold it because Smurf's running away. Smurf's 1 HP.
But you know what else I'm seeing here? You know what else I'm seeing here?
What do you see?
That time went down a lot. And the longer these fights happen,
And that's
the longer, like, remember, even if Paris finishes, they finish with no time on the clock. Shock can't lose the map. So for Shock, they're going, you know what? Let's take another fight. Because if they take this next fight, it's gonna be, even if they lose this fight, this next fight, which they'll probably play with like with beat, like just play aggressively beat here. There'll be a minute 45 on the clock, and then by the time it gets to the end of the second point, there'll be like a minute max to watch.
It's a boop into a sleep.
Wait, that's sleep though. Where did that even come from?
Wonderful play there from the backline of San Francisco Shock. However,
Just give me,
stop them at least from taking out Smurf.
give me 1 second here. I need to take over for 1
The
second.
high ground control.
Okay.
I mean, how many times?
Honestly, this is just honestly just waiting for Smurf to come back so they can just go full aggression because Smurf's taking 3v1s and winning a lot of them. So I think they're gonna try to have Nero find a target to hack him, and then Smurf's just gonna go in 3v1 and just pick on someone and just go for it.
I should go unlock the for my sister.
Onto the back line here, but
Yeah, you're fine.
whacked his head onto the
Be
top
back 1
of
second.
Oh my!
Masters.
Smurf's back in.
Able to really get too much
Glisser gets the pick on the Diva.
Searching for a
And-
target,
and
just dodging and juking and avoiding
they're trying to chase down the Shock backline. Man, honestly, it looks like they're probably gonna win this fight. But oh my god, they're still getting picks. The cart has not moved at all. Okay, it's starting to move a little bit now, but this fight is not cleanly won, and Shock's flipping it. The hack on, oh my god, the hack on the Echo might be enough. Glister goes down to his own pulse bomb. Oh, but they able to reset. Okay, so that little reset there is actually huge because that way they don't have to wait for the respawn timers to come back. So instead of not having another fight here, they actually have a very good fight here.
I'm back.
And they have the EMP, so the second that they come to try to touch, oh, there it is. Big EMP, but I don't think they're going to be able to clean up on it because Dan got nanoed.
Right. I am back, sorry.
Oh, and then
You're fine, you're fine.
And if you look, they
that was a good play, like setup,
Yeah.
but honestly, just like Dan ended up being nanoed, so it's tough even with even with him EMP'd, it's tough to kill him there because like he already was going to take so much damage to fall.
But if you look at the time though, once
I mean the time bank is huge. Like, you know, that might look like a big misplay from Nero, but it's honestly like that was the plan anyways. Paris just made an aggressive play onto them, and it was just a second too late. And honestly, the time getting shaved off is huge.
I'm not quite sure though with.
There on B, they had some nice ideas.
Shock is going to take a fast fight here.
The whole way through.
His switch
I wouldn't be surprised if they do.
Incredible time on their attack. But now there's just enormous pressure on Paris. The Shock can play fast, aggressive, continue to stall this payload. And Paris, even if they win all of the team fights, they're going to be at a disadvantage again.
Huge bionate from Khan. Connects with the 3. The backline is decimated.
Oh god, am I melting?
Absurd. Wonderful performance there.
I think I'm melting.
Just the back of that one ability being used, they were finding so many opportunities. The cart will keep going.
Do you have the camera? Did you have the camera glitch again?
I don't know. Oh god! Oh my god! It's a little bit delayed for me. Okay, it's fixed now.
Is it good? Is it good?
I don't know. I think so. Maybe I just melted apparently.
Wow.
For me, it's delayed, so I didn't see it.
But one thing here though, there is if Paris wins this fight, they can have time.
Yeah, Paris was his fight. Yeah, but I think honestly, I think Glitzer is looking for a big stick here. If Glitzer gets a good stick on their backline, like, oh, doesn't get the kill
with
with
a Diva Bomb coming in.
But, okay,
Ooh, gets the pick.
Big Diva Bomb, honestly.
Gets the pick.
For such a long time. I don't think Dreja really expected it, just peeking his head out for a moment.
Man, that was a wild ride there for a minute.
Oh, I just saw the whole thing light up. I thought something happened, like really bad.
25 seconds.
Oh.
All right, at this point,
well,
Shock has all the
it's a guaranteed OT, so it's draw or W right here.
But you know what? I'm looking at Shock's ultimates.
Shock's looking like the W here. They got this nano on the Smurf from Twilight. He's gonna go for it. Get ready. 3, 2, 1. He's going in. He's got the primal. Made so much space, so their tanks are not gonna be healed for a long time. Goes back in, forces them out again. That is like a solid 10 seconds. Their tanks are just not getting healed. Now that they're gonna come back in, but they've already lost their diva. So, and this is a 2v1 on the tank line. Oh, there goes Smurf back in. This time with the nano. Oh, there's so much space being made. Smurf is just destroying their backline.
Wait, what the heck? What happened?
I don't know. Paris is starting to turn it. They've got a couple kills. They got a leap on a Smurf, and then they ended up killing him.
Yep. Wait.
Oh, here comes the Echo Bomb. Oh, the Crush remake of D-Max Choi.
Drijo's shield is going to block it. But now the spawn is
Wait.
from the Shock. The
Wait.
from on high.
Big Deadeye from Nero. Nero goes on the flank, looking for a flash and Phantom. Oh, gets it!
Yeah, but there's so much happening.
But the rally is still up for. Oh my god, the rally is up. Choi tries to turn away, so he takes less damage than the stick. Oh my god, Onigon's doing it again. They're doing it again.
Oh wow.
Paris is doing it again.
What is going on?
To the overtime, they will hopefully.
They are just overtime Oswalds. They have that clutch gene. They're going for it. And honestly, you know, Nero's pick on the Ana was so big, but
crazy.
The rally's still being up.
Troy makes it a point.
Smurf's back. Troy's
back. Wait, Twilight's supposed to have nano.
Wait, don't you die?
Oh no!
Oh no!
And finally, eventually, the San Francisco are going to die. But Bren, like we've
that's okay though.
Whole time, the Shock didn't need a good defense.
As long as Shock doesn't pull a Paris and AFK and spawn for a minute,
it was the third fastest attack.
Have a good chance of taking this one tick to win the game.
3:42 in the time back, and Paris are going to be kicking themselves because now they
I
have
was
to
just
play
quickly
for a draw,
talking to my
and
sister for a
they
second.
barely have less time.
No, you're fine.
I
just want to make sure I wasn't melting.
No, it's okay. Everything looks good.
Okay, you know, apparently I was. That melt at will. You know, isn't it kind of? Is it hot right now where we are? I don't even know.
Think it's like, I think it's like 80
it's
degrees
58
out.
degrees and cloudy.
Wait,
Okay.
it's 58 degrees out.
This is where
Wasn't it 90 like the last week?
Oh, it was thunderstorms. The weather was.
Getting the draw and potentially continuing to.
Yeah, honestly, it's honestly been a crazy week for weather.
Up against that 3 minutes
Where we are.
Yep.
Try and stave off.
See Choi there facing away to not take the headshot damage to last a little bit longer. Little things like that I just love.
All the power to him, but it's looking difficult.
All right, I think Paris is hoping that they will double their AFK time in spawn, so that they will have a better chance to hold.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
I don't know if Shocker are gonna
Here we go.
do the same strat of holding spawn. Double bubble?
Double bubble. That's the play.
Double bubble's the play.
Of this, knowing where to find their windows of opportunity to attack.
Nero was great on the hands out.
Rolling the McCree. Okay. You know what? I think they saw that they were on the Winston Diva comp, so they went McCree.
Yep.
That way they can keep Twilight alive and build that nano that's so valuable to take all the space.
All right, here we go.
All right, Smurf, show me what you got.
Build up those ultimates and convert.
Oh, Naga going down. That was brutal for them.
And that looks like this is it.
That's massive. Oh my.
Unless-
Smurf makes so much space taking the top, not dying. They go for the counter peel, can't take it back. Smurf's going back in again.
And there you go.
Beautiful.
Shock.
Chat, can we get a Smurf diff for this game? Can we get a Smurf diff?
Shock
I think
pops
that
off.
was a Smurf diff. That map specifically was 110% a Smurf diff.
What do you think, though, Flash? Do you think we can get the video to 1,000 likes?
Can we get to 1,000 likes? Where are we at right now?
I don't know. What are we at? Oh, 550. Can we get to 1,000 likes right now?
Maybe,
right now.
maybe. Yeah, can we get to
Shock
1,000
winning.
likes on the YouTube video? Because that was a Smurf diff right there. That was a Smurf diff.
Is a Shock winning? Yeah, I think
Give it for
we'll
Smurf.
go with that. Let's do it. Let's see if we can do that. Let's see how fast we can get it to 1,000. Let's go. Shock wins.
I mean, there's 2,000 people in the stream. You can get it to 1,000. There's 500
Shock
more.
wins.
Smurf diff. Like it.
Let's
With
go.
Smurf diff. You know what? Hey, perfect prediction. 3-1.
3-1?
Perfect.
You know what? I've probably got every prediction wrong, but we got that one right.
Yeah, you know what? I appreciate Shock, you know, letting them have a map so that we could have a prediction correct.
Yep. Amazing play by Shock. Like, straight up.
Yep.
MVP of the match? Look at that. Already 1K.
Is it already 1K?
Already
Let's
1K.
take a look at our player of the match presented by Xfinity.
Oh, nice. Easy clap.
Yep.
A couple of players that really played.
Who's it going to be handed to? Smurf?
Let's go.
You know what? Honestly, Glister did play really well this whole series.
Glister played very well. Very, very well. Glister has been playing very well for the most part in general. It's just, you know, taking time, playing more confident. Glister played very well.
Very important role, but just really creating these massive openings off the back of his individual play.
Yeah, Glister honestly did play well the whole series. I'm biased to say Smurf.
Yeah.
Because Smurf played so well that last series and didn't falter against the double shield. Did not falter. Held W.
Yep.
Won. That last map was 100% a Smurf diff, but Glister popped off too.
Absolutely.
And he's been
Absolutely.
good at it. He has been good. I don't think
Well,
that this is one of those player of the matches
what,
where Glister
what a
by
game.
far and away outshot.
What a series.
game that just was.
But
Amazing,
he's doing a
amazing
solid
play.
job. He's-
Yeah. Once again, thank everybody for joining us. Let me see if we're doing an interview today. I gotta
Are we?
try to figure that out right now. If not, we'll do what we gotta do. Also, if you have not, make sure to sub to the Shock YouTube. They are literally, I think, less than 1,000 away from 100,000 subs on YouTube.
Yeah, get them 100,000. First Overwatch
Yep.
League team to get to 100,000. They do a lot of good work with their content. Let us co-stream. They put out stuff constantly, and one of the better teams with that kind of stuff. So they deserve it. They deserve it. All the success for the hard work they've been putting in for the past 4 years, and especially this year.
Yep. Let's go. Big dub.
Yeah, that's a massive game, honestly.
100%.
Paris was really turned it around and was playing very, very well recently. And that control map where they weren't afraid to try something new. They're trying new comps. They're trying new lineups. They're not afraid to do it. We saw Ons come in, pop off, really have some impact. Things are looking good.
Yep.
Things are looking. A lot of people last week were a little afraid. I think that this past week of scrims and practice and and discussions has really changed the light of the Shock this week.
That I can agree. They are playing much better, and we saw that today. I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes. If I don't hear anything on an interview, then we will end up signing off. But thank you again for watching. I hope everybody's been enjoying the co-streams too. Honestly, I hope everybody's been enjoying them and has been having a good time like watching them. And Flats and I have a blast with it. Thank you for tuning in and watching. And yeah,
I love it. I love it. I have a lot of fun.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're going to do a quick interview with Corey again.
Oh, we're getting Corey?
Corey's coming.
Okay.
Corey's coming. Okay.
Should I add him or you got it?
Let me see. Corey ends up interviewing us. It's going to end up being Flats and I getting interviewed. Corey is the VP of Shock, by the way, and also the VP of Event Marketing for NRG. So, do you
want me to add him or no?
Let me just double check, see what he's saying.
Okay.
I'm going to add him in a second. All right, you can add him right now. We'll do a quick interview and then we'll be hopping off. All right, here we go. All right.
Hello?
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 Hey, hello.
What's up? What's up?
Oh, yeah.
What'd you guys think? What happened?
They won. They played aggressive. I love it.
Especially on control, the no fear to try something new, even though they didn't win that round where they tried something new, and played a completely different style, different lineup, different comp. That's that kind of stuff. That's confidence. And even that was their first time they'd ever played it, and looked pretty good on it. Being able to have that, that experience of being able to be like, hey, you know what? We're going to try something new. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, especially with the current record on control. That shows me good signs for the future.
I was just glad to see Ants finally get his first map win under his belt coming back.
Yep.
Not gonna lie, his last two maps when he first rejoined against the Gladiators, I really wanted to see him start back off on a positive. So when he lost those, I was just nervous for him that it doesn't become like a trend where he gets put in and we drop the map. So
he looked a lot better. A lot better this week too. A lot better.
Yeah. I mean, him and Glister were doing great on the same target. Every time he tapped somebody once, the Glister would go finish it.
Yeah, it was really well played across the board. 100%.
Who was your guys' personal player of the matches? Like, Smurf. I know they gave it to Glister, which
Smurf by miles, like literal light years. It's not even close.
Tank bias over here.
That last map was a Smurf diff. I don't care what anyone says. Like, that wasn't even. He actually pulled out Operation Touch Spawn Door. Like, the caster said, well, they're gonna go Pharah here to give a heat check to the Shock of who's gonna deal with the Pharah. What do you mean who's gonna deal with the Pharah? Smurf's on the spawn door right now. Like, they don't care about the Pharah, not even a little bit. Like,
he was feeling himself because he kind of in that first fight. We were nervous because he a little overextended, got picked on the wrong side of the archway, and we're like, "Oh shit!" And then they came back and ended up winning the 6v6, which was crazy. And then he almost did it again because he was still feeling himself, but didn't. I liked. I think Charlie Zwarg, our boy Nero, did some pop-off moments with the Hanzo.
100%.
You gotta give credit to Twilight too. Twilight had a lot of playing time today too, and just played very consistent and very well.
Big nades out of Twilight, especially on Hanamura. Even though it didn't go their way, it was still huge.
Yep.
100%. Yeah, but again, Nero too on the Hanamura .1 where he basically solo carried that first defense with the Pharah play. Like, he just had some moments.
The one where Super just held left click on the Rhine the whole time, and some other Rhine never got healed either. I love that.
What do you? Who's yours, Emongg? Who's your top guy?
I gotta say, Smurf did play really well. But I don't know. Like, I think like the top person of this week was just the team in general. I mean, to win control from the get-go and to pop off. I mean, I think the team played extremely well too. I think it was just.
So is your player of the match Krusty?
I mean, they looked a lot better this week. There's no or today.
100%.
Obviously, tomorrow they play Outlaws,
team.
right? Which is going to be a crazy matchup and a really good matchup. But I mean, compared to last week, they played a lot better this week.
Man, did we really win control or did Paris lose control though? Because both teams are historically really bad.
I say Shock won it.
I would say it looked way different.
Yeah.
I would say Shock looked way more confident.
Yep.
Even on like that first map where they almost got it to 99 and then ended up getting flipped all the way back on, but on a brand new comp. Like they'd never played that comp before.
Yep.
And on the next two, you could tell on Village that they learned against London, because against London early engaged on last fight where they were going to TP to point, and that really messed them up. So this time, actually, Glisser put the TP like a few feet back from before. So when they rushed it, it wasn't further enough. It was too far for them to make it, and they got really split. And that's how Nero got the good May wall up. And then Dan coming in hot, gets separated, dies. Super has the free shatter to clean it up if they need it. And it's a totally different fight than it was last week against London, just from that small adjustment, you know? So like those little things though add up like over time. That's why I think like they looked so different. Like they made the same strategic plays and they dominated the high ground every time. But on the one time they made a mistake last week, they fixed it.
So, okay, so big question. We got big match tomorrow, prime time, 3 p.m. on a Saturday. What are we expecting? Because they beat us last time, right? Are we in the hole against Outlaws?
That was the one that went to the 5th map, last fight, Havana.
That's a nightmare one. Okay, we got to avenge that loss.
Yeah. I don't know how they're gonna play. Is to like how I haven't seen the new meta, and they haven't played Houston since that match, right? So I don't really know. I think that both teams are, probably going to have some different type of comps. And I think if Shock plays with the aggression they did today and cleans up on a little bit of the mistakes they had, then I think they can win tomorrow for sure.
100% agreed.
Yep.
I can't stomach us to see us. We haven't lost 2 times in a row to a team since 2019. So that's kind of the big story, I think.
Gotta keep the streak going.
Can we keep that streak? The revenge story, but this is against Junkbuck and Harsha, who have been like our coaches forever and know our main players and know Krusty intimately. So I always feel like there's an extra level of mind games when we play against them. So I'm excited. I think we can pull it out, though.
I think it'll be a good one.
It'll be a good match, 100%.
Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for letting me pop in here and hang out with you guys. It's always the highlight of my week.
Of course.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on and hanging out. 100%. Well, does that mean that we're
signing off?
We sign off?
Put this thing to bed.
Yeah. Okay. Well then, let me put the music on here to time this out perfectly. Watch how amazing this is gonna be. All right. Well, I put the wrong song on because it played to the other one. There we go. 1 second. Let me skip the ad. It's an ad for 5 seconds. Give me a second. Time out. 1 second. There we go. All right, chat. I'm Emongg. This is Flat. Obviously, we had Corey on. Thank you very much for coming. Make sure to sub to the YouTube. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you tomorrow. Hope y'all enjoyed. Bye-bye.
See y'all.